recorded live.
Good evening, everybody, and welcome to another episode of Awakening Universal Minds. We want to thank everybody for tuning in, joining us, and just to acknowledge everybody that's been listening from all over the place. I see somebody typing in. We have somebody here from Portugal tonight. So, again, we just want to welcome all the international listeners. I know, again, we don't get a chance to acknowledge them. Portugal, Australia, Brazil, Europe, the Caribbean, etc. If I missed anybody, we're not leaving you out. So we want to, again, thank you for tuning in. Again, we have back with us tonight Brother Panic. Brother Panic, are you there? Brother Panic, are you there? Let's see if we can get him locked in. Hold on. Brother Panic, are you there? Can you hear me?
Yeah, I'm here, bro.
Yeah. All right. Just want to make sure it wasn't me. Let me see if we can get him. Brother Panic, are you there? I'm not sure what's going on. Hold on one sec. Ravana, if you just want to go ahead and do the intro, I'm going to see if I can work on trying to get him plugged in.
Sure. Everybody, this is Awakening Universal Minds. This is our weekly internet radio show. We discuss all topics on the show, mostly dealing with the occult, metaphysics, alchemy, spiritual sciences, things of that nature. We're not affiliated with any religious groups, social organizations, or anything of that nature. If you're coming on the show and you think this is about religion and you want to battle or argue, we don't deal with that.
Hold on one second, brother. Brother, yeah. Hold on one second. I think I got him plugged in.
Go ahead, brother.
Brother Panic, are you there? Hello, Brother Panic, are you there? All right, I'm gonna give him a call. Go ahead, Brother Ravana. I'm trying to get him up.
Sure. So, like I was saying, we don't. This isn't the show for people who want to argue or discuss religion. If you feel that that's what you still need, go find another show. We're here about elevation, transforming, and things of that nature. So this is what Awakening Universal Minds is all about. If you have any questions, you can type it into the chat room. If you're on the call and we plug you in, make sure that your phone is not muted. Make sure your phone is not muted. I'm going to say it one more time because people forget. Make sure your phone is not muted. If you have questions, comments, or concerns, please state so when we call you, either by your city, your location by state, or by your name that you use to sign in. But once we call you by your name or your state or your area, let us know if you have a question, comment, concern, or you're just listening. Because we have hundreds of callers on the show tonight and people on the chat room. We're going to do our best to try to get to everybody. It's not always feasible to do that because we have over 100 people listening to the show and probably over 1,000 or more that are listening to the live stream through Facebook and other locations. So do your best to either type in the chat room your question, and we'll get to the questions in the chat room, or if you're on the phone call, when we call you, use that time for your question or comments or concerns. Other than that, there's not much that we can say other than we're waiting for the connection to go through with Brother Panic. Something may be wrong. We're not sure.
Hold on. Let me try again, Brother Panic, are you there?
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yeah, we got you. Hold on. I just need to see which line is yours because we got a bunch of people on from Georgia. So hold on one second. I'm going to mute it, Georgia. Can you hear me now? Can you speak? All right, that was you. I muted.
All right.
All right, there you go. Just go ahead and speak again, Panic, so I know I don't got you muted.
All right, that's me.
All right, we good. We got you. Okay. All right, yeah, sorry about that. We got multiple people coming in. All right, so we're good to go. We got Brother Panic here. Panic, if you could just briefly, maybe for some new listeners that may not be familiar with it. I know most of the listeners are, but if you could just introduce yourself and kind of tell the people what it is you do.
All right. Well, my name is Brother Panic, occult science lecturer, where I deal with what I know to be the highest form of the science of know thyself on the planet. If there's another name for it, somebody please introduce me. But that's called occult science. It may have other names. People think it's metaphysics, where it is metaphysical, because metaphysical means beyond the physical. But if I had to draw the difference between the two, I would say the occult is more hands-on active instead of descriptions. So I deal with occult science, which is all about the transformation, evolution of self. The word occult means hidden culture, which you're dealing with you're trying to deal with a whole different, I guess you could say, activity or a whole system of participation that is basically hidden from the day-to-day human outwardly culture. So the hidden culture is the whole way of interacting with that which is hidden. So I teach techniques on that and, been actively participated in that, in the study of it. There's thousands and thousands of books, enough books to reach from here to the moon on occult science. And so I believe that it is actually what all conscious people are actually truly looking for when they're asking for it. But there are many conscious people on different levels. I also know conscious people tend to mix a little bit of what I do up with what other people are doing. So people email me asking me for health questions and how do I raise Shoshuna, this, that, other, and this. And I'm like, well, you got to understand what occult science is. It has nothing to do with your physical health. Should you pursue physical health? Absolutely. But asking the wrong guy, you know what I mean, for advice there. People are asking me, how do I spiritually get my children out of foster care? Though I have a compassion for whatever you're going through, that's not the work we're doing here. But the work I'm doing here is trying to find self-enlightenment. So that's what we on. Now, so that's what you hear tonight. And in the path of true self-enlightenment, what you'll find that it conflicts some of your human philosophies. So people get offended sometimes because they have this whole built-up human idea of what life is supposed to be like. And when they seek knowledge, what they're actually seeking is to confirm shit they know, not to go into some shit you didn't know. But tonight I'm going to reveal some shit that I said a lot of shit about until I tried it. And now I got a whole motherfucking new reality about it, which we're going to talk about tonight. And this happens for me because I'm dedicated to throwing away anything I think I am. If I find new, better information, try it and become that. That's the core to transformation. So occult science is about transformation. That's what I teach. If you're hearing me, that's what it's about. If you got a problem with me, don't fucking listen. Somebody gave me a whole speech about how they had a problem with it. My question to them was in one line. Why the fuck are you listening? Stop listening. It's simple. This shit is free. You know what I'm saying? This is free. So, correct. So, this isn't for everybody, and nor do I care for it to be for everybody. I'm going for people who's going for theirs.
Right.
Tag me on my website, occultlectures.com, and you can, email me, panicpack@hotmail.com, where you can buy my products. You can get classes, give detailed classes via Skype, so no matter where you are in the world, you can take my class. People are still asking, well, I live in Cincinnati. How can I take your class? Well, we're in the age of the Jetsons, so you can take my class. So don't I've taught people from all continents, England, Australia, fucking Indonesia, Afghanistan, Russia. I got a guy from Russia in my class now. UK, of course. You name it. You know what I'm saying? The motherfucking Uganda. It's about the what the I need in the class. So, you know, you can sign up for them. I'm in the second class of this cycle. So in a couple of weeks, we're going to start a new cycle. So now people are already signing up for the next one, which will be sometime in October. Very fair price for what it is you get a 4-week class. Let's get it on. We do it on Sundays. Also, my famous herb packs in the variety of them, all on the site. All of these help in the aid of your true work, which is something that's supposed to happen with you, which I've been lecturing, which you can get for absolutely free. Years of me giving this information of how to sit in your own room and tap into this energy without spending a penny.
Okay. Excellent point. You still there, Brother Fanny?
Yes.
All right, though we lost you.
No.
All right, well, appreciate that. Definitely appreciate that. I'm glad you addressed the most important part. If this is not for you, exactly, just don't listen, because sometimes people come in and have their own personal ideology, and it doesn't line up with that, and they get offended. But you know,
but that's the whole thing. I don't really want to spend too much time on a bunch of idiots. If they don't get it, they're not for them. They still sitting around trying to find a church. This is not going to fly. Like, most people are here, what I found out is because they're really doing the work. So we want to address them motherfuckers. The ones that come here complaining, the answer really, well, lick my ass then. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
You know, who cares? I'm not here to babysit or try to explain to them this is college. You know what I mean? You need kindergarten. You need hooked on phonics. Forget all of that.
Exactly.
We don't have time for that. Let's get down with the people who are trying to get down, which are many.
Correct.
Which are many.
All right, so what we want to do, Brother Penn, before we get into the topic of astral dreaming, I want to make a little segue with this little short introduction paragraph that kind of came up. We've been going through consistently the last couple of weeks on this topic, and I think we can segue in here, and then we'll have you give you a breakdown on it on astral traveling. But this was coming from the Emerald Tablets. Some people still are under the illusion. They doubt themselves that they could actually attain or get to these levels of, lack of a better word, astral travel. So I'm going to read this short paragraph. It says, and this is coming from the Emerald Tablet, Alchemy for Personal Transformation by Dennis William Huck, who we will have on the show in a couple of weeks. It goes on to say, if through alchemy we are able to overcome our ignorance and change our beliefs, then how do we actually travel in these wondrous realms? And here's the response. Once your thoughts are purified, the ascent and descent are as natural as breathing. Since the above is subtle and the below is gross, the subtlest part of matter is soul, the subtlest part of soul is spirit, and the subtlest part of spirit is God. To travel in these realms, you need only change the density of your thoughts, and by weighing shall you be judged. First, you must free yourself from the roots of denial, which keep you earthbound, which is the lead of your existence, and invert them into the roots of heaven planted in the golden light above. Then to become subtler, rid yourself of fear and follow your lightest thoughts as they rise. To become denser, seek sensation and expression and follow your heaviest thoughts as they plummet. Do not linger in heaven. On the earth is where your work takes place, for in the rarefied atmosphere of consciousness, thoughts are actions, and all thoughts are in just one mind, and all results are just the one thing. So I want to segue it in with that, just to plant that seed in people's heads. So if you could explain to the listeners in your experience and in your knowledge, what exactly is astral traveling? And let's kind of get into that first.
Let's even go back to this guy's statement, what he just said. The real deal problem that no one's going to speak about, nobody understands what he just said. That's what we need to address. So shit like that doesn't serve our people on the level it needs to. That's why there are so many people here and so many people emerge. Because what I do, because I do have an understanding of this fancy way of saying shit that's been said over and over, because all the dude really said was, your human thoughts won't get you into these higher realms. That's all he really said.
Right.
So So that's what I say to my people where they can understand it. I explain to them this low-level thought is not, there's a line in the sand, because what he just said was there's a line in the sand between spirituality and your humanity. That's all he really just said. When they put in these book forms, which they often do, our black people are not getting it. You know what I'm saying? Not getting it, they can access it. Not saying that some comprehend it. Even if they comprehend it, at the end of the day, they wouldn't have to ask me. We wouldn't be having this lecture right now.
Correct.
Because now I'm about to explain all of that shit to black folks, and that's why they show up. Because black folks need for us to explain this shit. So when these guys come on your show, have the motherfuckers break that shit down in simple form.
Right.
Because, you know, if they start talking this intellectual shit, they lose people. And they're really only quoting some shit that's said over and over and over again about your human thought, your humanity. Really, Bobby said all of this shit. This has already been said.
Right.
Human thought puts you in the perspective of humanity, which is your most limited incarnation of self. So your whole constant work, true alchemy, your true work, actually relieving yourself of human thought. All human thought is socialism, morality, and emotion. Socialism and morality is not even a fact. And most people get emotional over things that aren't real anyway.
Correct.
So once you start getting those things under control, at the beginning stages of the heart chakra. In class, I teach you the real work that's supposed to happen in the heart chakra. People think because you wipe oil off of ducks at an oil spill, you somehow have an open heart chakra. Or if you help ladies on the train, you somehow have an open heart chakra of some sort. You really do not. That's very nice socially, but I just told you social is something that's an invention. It's a very nice gesture, but none of that stuff, you know what I'm saying, kissing babies and, you know, helping the lady up the stairs with the baby, none of that stuff is going to do alchemy for you. Alchemy is, as we discussed, I believe here, is mental. This is what you call mental alchemy. And mental alchemy, when you call yourself a god, which most people delight in doing, or a goddess, is really dictated by your thinking. So when they say these statements, it sounds fancy, thou that comes forth in the world of humanity as above, so below. And people get the concept, but they don't get how to access.
Right. And here's something what I wanted to dwell on that. As far as melanated people, the only thing I take out of that is I still see people self-doubting that they had the capability to do this, and that's really the only thing on that point.
Well, they're self-doubting because, as I just pointed out, they don't understand what it is these guys are saying. They intellectually understand, but they don't know how to make it their own. And that's why they're self-doubting. They're self-doubting because they're not seeing any proof, because they're trying to the statement that he just either made or was quoting, all that did was make you do is think. It didn't teach you two different things. Right. So they're self-doubting because very few people are actually teaching that. Some people, myself, have the capacity to intellectually understand it and then regurgitate it so my people can have something to do when they get home, so they can start relieving themselves of self-doubt. Self-doubt comes with, you know what I'm saying? You have self-doubt before you get pussy. You get pussy and you smash, self-doubt is gone. So self-doubt is just another way of saying you ain't done it yet, even though you heard 1,000 stories about pussy. So that quote is another story about pussy that you ain't get yet.
Right.
So it serves for the intellectual book reading community, but really once you have a lot of that book reading shit, if I was to read that would do absolutely nothing for me, because I don't need a reinforcement of shit that's already been said about as above, so below, humanity versus spirituality. Because that's really at the core, that's all that shit says.
Right.
Spirit is one thing, humanity is one thing. You can't break into the realm of spirit, which he's talking about in this context is astral traveling. And
right.
when you have human thought. You know what I mean? That's
right.
like learning shit one-on-one. So if I was to read that, that would technically be a waste of time for reading for me. Because, and really for our black people, because our black people know that because Bobby Hemmett's been telling them that. I've been telling them that. So if I was, just like I said, I guarantee there's nobody in here unless they really, really new to this would say that was a breakthrough statement. The way it's worded, it sounds like it's some breakthrough, hot, fancy, off-the-wall shit.
Right.
Really, it's really at the core when you wipe it away, it's really kindergarten for us. Our problem is we don't know how to bridge the intellectual with the actual realization. We don't know how to make it materialize.
Exactly.
And that's what my classes are for, how to make all this shit materialize. Now, I know I'm not kidding on this, because, again, in my classes, before I start with each lesson, which I'm only going to give you the surface level on astral traveling, the concepts, because it's something I teach in my class. You're going to have to pay for this.
Right.
But we're going to get into it as best we can. Now, teaching it in a class is showing people how to go home with technique to do it, and that's what people need. So a book on astral travel need is actually a book called Astral Dynamics by Robert Bruce, because he's not giving you all of these fancies and what fucking Da Vinci said. What he's saying is this is what you do when you close your eyes.
Right.
That's what black people need. That's what our people need as we serve. This is what you do when you meditate. This is what you do when you try to raise Kundalini. This is a technique in meditation you should try. If that doesn't work, then you should try this. The breakthrough information for black people is when I told them, well, you can meditate to music. Really, you can? Because everything in the book says sit in lotus position, straighten up your back so your Kundalini could do this and breathe like this. So they're working like a dog to have a realization, but they're more thinking if they're even doing it right. That's our problem. You get what I'm saying? It's not information. Black people, especially now, especially with YouTube, we are in the information age. We have a lot of information, but we don't know how to turn that shit into we have a lot of flour, yeast, eggs, sugar, and nobody knows how to make a fucking cake.
Yep.
So that's the key. So the first thing, what I would teach black people, and what y'all going to learn tonight, is the concept of what the astral world is, first and foremost, which most people don't know. First and foremost, the astral world is a part of this illusion. It is not a destination. It's not where you land. It's not the be-all, the end-all. The astral world is just as illusionary as this world. When you astral travel, it comes from your solar plexus. Your solar plexus is a lower chakra. Don't get it confused with soul traveling, which is go beyond the astral world. Now, astral traveling is where everything on planet Earth begins. So on the planet Earth context, it's the as above, so below. But there's higher realms where the as above, so below, even though the correspondence is there, it's not talking about earth and matter. It's talking about, in this context, matter and spirit. Spirit, this world and this reality, how we get our money, how we get our jobs, how we keep our relationships, all that shit that we going for starts in the realm of the astral. What is the realm of astral? The realm of your thought is astral. Because you, as a man thinketh, so he becomes, which is another saying of you must have an astral impact to affect the physical. So when you learn how to astral travel, which you're not traveling anywhere, what you're doing is the true science or the true occult hidden meaning of astral traveling is having your human earthly consciousness and awareness travel with you. Because what's happening is your consciousness, your awareness as Brother Panic is staying behind in the body when you go to sleep. So that's why your subconscious mind is roaming free, giving you all these messages. You don't remember all the problems. Niggas say, I don't remember my dreams. I don't know what that means. I don't know what When you learn to astral travel, what you're actually learning to do is bring your consciousness in the spirit world with you. And then my awareness as panic now becomes a spectator of what my subconscious mind has to show me about the questions of the day, about whatever is going on. And then with my conscious mind as panic able to witness this is actually called lucid dreaming. And with lucid dreaming, when I wake up, able to retain more of the symbology, the language of my subconscious mind, I'm able to decipher, remember more, and be more aware because I brought my consciousness. So my consciousness traveled in the astral world when it usually stays behind in the body and just falls asleep. That technique is in the book Astral Dynamics by Robert Bruce. That's how we help our people. Now they have a book they can go to study how to do that, and they understand the concept, because technically it ended in one sentence. So the more techniques he showed them, ways to get in. There's another book, Astral Travel, by Yvonne and Gavin Frost, wives, husband and wife, where they talk about the concepts in astral travel. They tell you can take a teaspoon of honey with 8 ounces of water at night, get deeper into the astral world.
Right.
See, now, when you do all this, there's Beginner's Guide to Astral Traveling by Denning and Phillips or something like that.
Right.
Something Denning, which is pretty much the concept. You need to understand this. Now, let me explain this, because this is not really hard, but y'all niggas need to put your fucking thinking caps on for this one. There are 3 aspects of it. There's your human body, there's your spirit, and then there's your soul. All right? Body, spirit, soul. Your body never leaves Earth. Your spirit can go to Earth, which is, if it's up and it's awake, your spirit's on Earth, and then your spirit could go to the astral world. So your spirit is actually in the astral world. You have layers to your spirit, just like you have your aura, the etheric aura, this body, the mental body, and all the rest of these bodies. Your different levels. So some of your consciousness stays on Earth. The idea is to get your consciousness to go with the rest of these more light etheric type bodies that you have, these spiritual bodies, into that world. Now, there's a silver cord connected to your solar plexus, to your belly button, like an umbilical cord. And you're connected to that cord, so the idea is when it's time to wake up, wherever your spirit is in all of the existence that exists down here, it will come back through this cord. Now, your soul can never, ever die. Your soul, or Ba, is unbreakable. It lives forever. It has the ability to be on Earth, which is the true fall. All of our souls aren't down here. A lot of niggas who truly fell. My soul isn't down here. My soul is projecting me in an avatar called Panic. Because I was already down. I already went through the process of the fall. That's why I came back here to teach, to get the people who are still stuck in the circles of time out through teaching. Not out through reflecting philosophies that are in other books or quoting or making my fucking own. I do not like green eggs and ham, Sam I am. To teach people, you have to give them practical application. That's the true teacher. To make teachers, not to just make perpetual students that go on and on forever, to make other teachers. Now, with that being said, your soul, which is forever, can live on Earth. That's the fall. And then it can live in the astral realm, but it has the ability to go beyond. All right? So now, the body dies, it stays on Earth. When it stays on Earth, your spirit, just like when you dream every night and leaves your body, goes to the astral world, it does it again. This time without a silver cord attached to come back to. Now that your spirit lives in the astral world, 2 things happen. You either go there ignorant, based upon waiting for Jesus, and in that Gavin and Yvonne Frost, they talk about that. You're going to witness a bunch of motherfuckers hanging around churches, which I did, a bunch of motherfuckers just hanging around whatever philosophy waiting for Jesus and Allah who don't exist to come and save them. So you get stuck in the astral world. There's also people who, just like people on earth are studying alchemy, are spirits who do that too. There was a time when I had saved more spirits and did more work in the spirit world in terms of alchemy and saving niggas and teaching than I did on people on planet Earth. Now it's too hard to tell. There's so many people that's been dealing with my work. But that process doesn't start because the astral world is still basically matter, just a more etheric matter where the thought reigns supreme. So if you have ill-conceived thoughts, you will create your own ill-conceived astral heaven. The astral heaven, which I'm going to explain to you on a few, is a mimic of true heaven, just like Earth is a mimic of the true firmament in heaven, if you want to call it something like that. Right. And I'll tell you where that comes from in the mythology over that. So now that you are living in the astral world, they say if you're living in ignorance, eventually you will get sucked back down into a human body. Especially if no one remembers you. So if you're there for 3 generations, nobody's going to remember Billy Ray Jones.
Right.
But if, let's just say, you're Lincoln and you're in movies now, you were a president, you always remembered as American president, they tell everybody that motherfucker chopped the cherry tree down, never told her I was born in a log cabin, and all these stories is on the $5 bills. Lincoln is somebody who, with our thoughts, he remains in our thoughts in some sort of way. Therefore, that energy fortifies his spirit in the astral world to serve. His spirit was his incarnation, which means that incarnation was his power. So whatever Lincoln is, and they could consider Lincoln a forefather, that's the power. So that's what they can still get, even though his soul, which is forever, may have moved on or may have incarnated into a new body. So you'll say, how could you still get my grandmother if she's back on Earth? Because her spirit can be left behind in the astral world if we remember her. How do we remember her? Well, we have a science for that. That was called altars. So when you got your grandmama picture up, you make your grandmama Big Mama biscuits. You make a whole show called fucking Soul Food after she lost her leg to diabetes and she gone. Her picture, her biscuits, her traditions, all of that stuff, and then the next level, pouring liquor, libations, any spiritual work, all of that, my grandmother's spirit alive in the astral world, even though her soul may have moved on to the hereafter, which I've witnessed that plenty of times. I had a stepbrother. I used to talk about this nigga. He's a funny nigga named Pumpkin. Pumpkin died. He was the nicest guy you ever met, but he told me when he went to the next level. I talked about him with conscious people, told him, his name is Pumpkin, so a lot of chicks didn't, he didn't get a lot of pussy. All my conscious team, my conscious goddesses just gave him some pussy. And that nigga said, oh, my Lord. He said, I went to the next level. Like, chicks put his picture up, nigga sleeping in a lawn chair. It's funny as fuck. Chicks was like, oh, I done fuck that nigga. You know what I'm saying? His nigga always had crust in his nose. And he's like, I ought to fuck that nigga. You know what I'm saying? So they all hit him off. And he said, went to the next level. But I still can call on his spirit as Pumpkin, even though he moved on to another realm. Because this exists in the astral world. The astral world is where you pull all your thoughts from. It must impact. So when you light a candle, you're trying to have an astral impact. The crystal has a hold in the astral world that crystallizes into a rock. So every gemstone or crystal, clear quartz crystal or rose crystal or whatever, has a foot in the astral world, and some of them beyond. So the idea is to be able to manipulate the astral world, you're manipulating the foundation of planet Earth. Let me say it again. To be able to manipulate the astral world, you're able to manipulate the powers of Earth. So your subconscious mind is the thinking apparatus of your soul, which reaches back through many lifetimes. Much is connected to Akasha and all that good shit. Its thinking apparatus is also in the astral world as it pertains to your human experience. So that's why I went in the last show about the subconscious mind and the power, because if you impact the subconscious mind and the subconscious mind's thinking, you're impacting the astral understanding of where the seed of changing your human reality starts. But I show in the class how everything has to do with impacting the subconscious, which is the thinking apparatus for the astral world, which the seed of this planet, everything's under control. So if you're able to control your mind, because the mind is all in the universe is mental, you're able to manipulate the astral world to manipulate the physical world.
Correct.
As above, so below. So if you can make an astral impact as above, then it happens so below. That's why the dreams are your subconscious mind and your thinking apparatus in the astral world, either manipulating or reporting on your true reality down here. And it's speaking this language in symbols. So the astral travel is traveling your consciousness into this world to be able to tell your mind true consciousness of what it is you're learning down here. If you could bring Panic, the conscious thinker named Panic, into these astral world and keep my thoughts strong, pure, and on point, because a part of that guy's statement was basically no faith, we're not thinking, we're not on point. So that thinking is not from saying, oh, I am a God, yes, I'm a God. The thinking he's talking about is to be able, I'm not sure, let me say that, if he even knows, is the purity of your intention.
Correct.
Say it again.
It's about the
purity of your
about
intention to bring that in the spirit world and start getting your subconscious mind lined up with your intention to start moving things in the astral world, so that it will trickle down to your physical reality. To do that, you must bring your power with you. Instead of falling asleep, you need to go to sleep. And you need to meditate yourself to sleep with intentions.
Correct.
And the more you practice this astral traveling and the techniques in that book, Robert Bruce, Astral Dynamics is the name of the book. And then there's a subtitle to it. You'll start to get better and better at it. And once you get better and better at it, what you start to notice is you'll start to understand your natural language, which is symbols, which is basically decoding your dreams. Each person who says, Patty, I don't understand this dream, is another way of saying, I don't understand, my mind is speaking to me. So there's some core things you're going to have to understand. I teach it in my class. You're going to have to learn it there. You're not going to get that much of a freebie tonight. So now, with that being said, once you're able to bring your consciousness in this world and you'll tap into lucid dreaming, meaning you are aware that you're dreaming. See, when you read the Google version, they'll tell you, once you become aware of your dreaming, try to move your arm, try to move your hands, try to stop your leg. I did that. I accomplished that. But then I realized, why would I bring my ego into this world? I'm trying to shut my ego down, but just become a student second to my subconscious mind. That's the consciousness you want to bring in. You want to bring in your intention, but not your agenda. Your intention, but not your agenda. So I don't come in with my consciousness as I'm a God. I'm going to say I need that, or I want to figure this out. I want to understand why water is wet. So that's my intention. If my ego says water is wet because it's H2O. So if I bring my ego in there instead of my intention, then all my subconscious mind is going to do is tell me water is wet because it's H2O. Because your subconscious mind is your mind. It's not something outside of you, so it's going to give you what you want. Correct. So what you have to have is pure of heart intentions. So what you want when you go in there has to be pure of heart intentions. So that's when you hear me say this blanket statement. You have to get past humanity because your humanity is nothing but your ego. You have to become pure heart. I'm sorry. I teach that in my class, too, the technique for that. You're going to have to take the class. When you're able to do that, go in with your intention and your actual traveling, you're able to put yourself and ask any question and get something from the spirit. For instance, today, not too long ago, the Nelson Mandela movie was on with Idris Elba. And I have my reservations about Nelson Mandela. I don't know what the fuck that is. 1 minute you hate it, 1 minute you love, 1 minute you're in jail, 1 minute you're free. Lock Winnie up. What the fuck is really going on? So I'm watching the movie and I'm falling asleep. So, and I said I just want to see if this nigga was a real god or this was some I'm gonna use this shit in South Africa shit. And sure enough, I went to sleep to the movie. Nelson Mandela came through. He's standing up. I get down on one knee and hold his fucking hand up to him. And see, now I need you to understand. You're like, oh, Patrick, you holding Nelson Mandela's hand like you're a bitch. See, when I go into these realms, I just got finished telling you, I have no ego. If I'm a god and he's a god, if he came to my realm, he'd be on his motherfucking knee holding my hand. But this is saying, like, if I come to your kingdom, I have to submit. So I was in his kingdom. He was showing me this realm he was in, this light realm. I'm like, God damn. So I'm on one knee, looking up, holding his hand. So then I knew he was a real deal nigga. See, that's how you get your answers. You're not, so you're going to find, well, I read the autobiography of Nelson Mandela, and the nigga said, those with pure thought and as above, so below, and spirituality. Nigga, that shit ain't helping us. That's making you sound deep.
Right.
You like you read some shit, and you regurgitated. Make that shit plain for niggas. You know what I'm saying? That's what we here for. Talk to people. You know what I'm saying? Tell them what it is. You know what I'm saying? So when you find your answers, when you tap into this power, when you build up these systems, which are your systems inside of you, and everyone can do it if you're a nigga. And I'm not more special. I just did the work. I went to understand the work. All them niggas writing all this encrypted shit in these books, I was able to learn how to decode when I studied symbols. When I study symbols and I decode, I know how to bring all that bullshit down to one fucking common denominator. And everybody's saying the same shit in fancy motherfucking ways. After you get past the fanciness of Dr. Seuss, you know what I'm saying? I will not do it on a fox. I will not do it on a box. I will not do it with socks. I will not. Then all he's really saying is he ain't doing shit. That's what we need to get down. It ain't going to get done because he's saying I will not do it in a house. I will not do it with a mouse. I will not do it on a couch. That's a fancy way of saying I'm not doing shit. So I get down to that, and that's what we need to get down to in our studies. What the fuck they saying, understand some core philosophies, understand niggas is only regurgitating in different books to make themselves look fancy. But the shit hasn't been said once.
Correct.
And once you understand that and do the techniques to investigate yourself. I don't have to read a book. I don't have to hear from nobody. I went to go see Nelson Mandela myself. And my greatest wish being here is y'all niggas can have the same power. It's easy. So I found out, and I'm satisfied for myself. I don't care what book, what you went to tell me, because what they did on Earth really don't matter. All you niggas, he was an agent and Martin Luther King was an agent, but the next thing y'all say is, well, humanity ain't really shit. I'm dying. I'm never coming back. Humanity ain't shit. So if humanity ain't shit, what they did ain't really that much of an impact. It only impacts you while you're in humanity. So socially, if he's said to be an agent or doing shit that's not in our interest, then hey, you know what I'm saying? Fuck him. But spiritually, when they command a lot of people for a lot of reasons, we may not even understand the agenda at the time. But the agenda, it may look socially like this is some fucked up shit, but they may have come down to do that work for things we can't even force.
Right, and that's a good point. And I want to back up to something you said, which I think is, in my personal experience, I think is the problem when dealing with the astral world or the spiritual world, for those that might be having difficulties obtaining that level. And I'm glad you mentioned the intent and the agenda. And I think some people get it twisted with, like, I hate to say this, but some people think they're going to light a candle and get $1 million because that right there is not the right mindset because they're not going into it with the right intent. And that's critical because, like you even mentioned earlier when you were talking earlier in the show, when you're lighting that candle, for an example, you have to focus on that astral realm and actually your thoughts toward it, because I think where the confusion comes in some of the dialogues that I see and that I hear people conversing or talking with me with is they're still not understanding, as you said, the inner workings of the subconscious mind. They still think it's something that is existing outside of themselves. And I think this is where the confusion gets in. I think people say they grasp the concept, but when you're simplifying it like that, that kind of makes it very simple for us to grasp, like you said, if the intent. And I'm glad you struck that, because I think that's where some people get stuck, because the intent is overcome by the personal agenda. And I think this is where sometimes people run into stumbling blocks, because subconsciously, in your experience, and I'm sure you've experienced this working with people, how does it affect people that say maybe they're not conscious, that they're maybe subconsciously blocking themselves from doing this? How do you address somebody like that who thinks in their mind they're not doing anything to block it, but there's obvious ways there that they are, but they're not conscious of it? How do you address that person?
They can really only address themselves. I can't convince you or prove to you that you're a god.
Right.
The idea is, if you're conscious, you walk through the door saying, I am something greater than this thing walking around, or right. I feel something greater. So if you're not able to expand on that seed, I can't do it for you. Then guess right. what? You're not conscious. So I don't waste my time trying to convince people of who and what they are. That's not what a teacher is. When the student is ready, the teacher appears. I'm not teaching those people because they are not ready. They are not students. Students know they could do it. They are thirsty. See, I don't deal in the realms of I'm going to light a candle and get $1 million. If you're that fucking stupid, then you deserve that reality. I'm beyond that. And you know what I'm saying? And I say this with no ego. I say this with common sense. Beyond it. So the reality is I don't address those people. Those people have things to address within themselves.
Right.
I address those who are absolutely convinced and need technique to go to the next level. So with those people, I give 100 books to clear that aspect out of the way and technique on how to do it on their level. Because I get the emails, thank you, Panic, you changed my life. You don't know what you mean to me. I did this and now this. I did that and now that. Those are the emails I get, because nobody's going to play with me with that I light a candle and get $1 million. I don't even answer that shit.
Right. Exactly. All right. So if we could, you still there?
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay, I'm sorry. We lost you. So now let's expand. You mentioned the dream world. Let's focus a little bit on how our dreams, like as you mentioned a few minutes ago, when you're dealing with people, the symbology of dreams. What's the connection with the dream world and this astral traveling? I know you started to talk about it a few minutes ago. How do we piece that all together now? Because we know there's a connection there, as you explained. Because we dream, obviously, on a consistent basis, and all those dreams represent, obviously, to each individual different things. So can we let's tie that in a little bit, the connection with it. And I know you started to elaborate on it a few minutes back, but if you can
all right.
What you can elaborate on.
All right. Well, the dream is actually, the idea of the dream is, as you walk around all day on this planet Earth, your conscious mind dominates. That's called chatter. That's your lion self. It's telling you every goddamn thing. You know, what you're going to eat today, what you're going to wear today, what you're going to do at the job today, is it going to be raining today. And that never shuts up, which means it never really lets your spirit get a word in edgewise. In fact, if your spirit tries to tell you something, maybe I shouldn't go to work today, the conscious mind jumps in. You better go in. This is your last work. If you go in, you're going to fire your ass, and you know they're going to frown about it. You got to do that big meeting. It's always while your spirit is actually saying, spiritually, today is the day to stay home. Most people don't follow that. They follow their conscious mind. Now, why could your spirit know? All right, I teach this in my class. It's not necessarily smarter than the average bear, but it has what you call a bird's eye view. I think I said this on your show. If your house was an hour away from my house, that means to get to your house, it's an hour in my future. But if a bird was hovering over my house, can possibly see your house by hovering over my house. So to that bird, what is an hour in my future is in his present. Same thing, look in my eye, you see the past. So the bird's eye view, why spirit is recognized as birds, eagles, Horus, because it can see past, present, future. So your subconscious mind also has a foot outside the circle of time. So when you say, man, I wonder if I should take this job, which for you is in your future, your subconscious mind already knows. It can read the energy if it's bad or good for you. But since you ask the question, knowing or unknowing, the purpose is when you go to sleep, the conscious mind that chatters, player hates, actually, that's what's going to sleep. The idea is bringing the aspect of it with you in the dream world and not go to sleep, while a part of you that chatters, player hates, and connected to humanity rests. While it rests, your subconscious mind now stretches its legs, and it's trying to tell you all the things it wants to tell you that you can't tap into because the conscious mind is always in the way. It tells you in the language that it knows, symbols. Your dreams are your subconscious mind answering every question you could possibly ask. When you start to bring your consciousness in your intention, you know how to direct it. What's directing it? Well, what I just told you. I know how to direct my subconscious mind to give me the answers and go to the places I want. Nelson Mandela. Whoever I want to talk to, by doing this practice, I know how to get to where their spirit are, where you still get a part of this thing called traveling. So I know how to travel to where Nelson Mandela is and find out what I need to find out. That's what I did. Astral travel to see what's up with Nelson Mandela, how's he living, what's he about. He showed me the realm I'm in is fucking magnificent. We were looking over like a countryside, and it was a color of gold I'd never see it. And I'm next to this nigga, bowed down, holding his hand like a fucking child, looking up to him.
Right.
Witnessing his realm. So I know how to direct my mind and my consciousness there. People are doing it sporadically. So each day you sleep, the dreams are trying to tell you something. Reoccurring dreams are trying to tell you something about why you came down here.
Correct.
Day-to-day dreams are trying to tell you whatever you ask. How deeper you ask is the deeper you're going to get. If you have a problem on your mind on your job, 9 times out of 10, do you ever notice you go to sleep and dream about that problem on your job? Because your subconscious mind is still trying to answer your questions, your problems. It does it all the time. So you are in constant contact with your Akasha. You are in constant contact with the God force. You do not know how to decipher it anymore. So that's why niggas is walking around here lost, because they don't know how to ask and receive anymore. They're still relying on books. They're still relying on teachers. They're still relying on other niggas who claim they're conscious. They're still relying on panic, and they have to relying on herbs. All of these things, kundalini, all of these things when you really need to start relying on your own mind. In the class, the astral traveling class is in the 3rd week. Everything I told them once you break into astral traveling is when you become the spiritualist, because then you're able to look into the astral world and even deeper worlds that your mind is connected to. See, people are like, well, how do you know it's real? I said, because I could go to Nelson Mandela and see these worlds. I did it today in a nap. It wasn't even a fucking night. It was a nap. I went to sleep in an hour. I watched it, turned the movie on 5 and woke up at 6:30. So this is not even like I had to go to the dream and meditate and eat fucking banana stew. No, I went to sleep. So I turned on the movie. Movie's playing in the background. So that means the conscious mind is shutting down. I hear this nigga doing that Nelson Mandela talk. And we as a people, we need to go to there. I just hear this whole fucking. I didn't see none of it. I went to sleep as soon as he met Winnie. You know what I'm saying? And while this is going on in the mind, this is the tool or the ritual or like lighting a candle that's helping my consciousness, my subconsciousness, by putting my consciousness in line with it to take my consciousness by this movie there while the subconscious is hearing him talk. Boom. Now I'm with the nigga, seeing what it is. My answer is complete about him. Done. And I've got thousands of answers like that. I don't put that on a lot of people because my thing is you don't want to start relying on me to find out what's what. Rely on yourself to do it. You can do it. I've been giving out books for a long time. Bobby, even longer.
Right.
So it's really about technique, not about these fucking philosophies and repeating them. You know what I'm saying? And you know, this separation of spirit and humanity, you know, we know all of that. So the idea is to get your humanity under control of your spirit. Most of us think our humanity is going to control our spirit. I'm going to do all of these rituals. I'm going to do that. And I'm going to wear that. I'm going to put on this paint on my fucking face, get tattoos, and I'm going to get this. And my spirit is going to do this, that, the other. You're fucking front bullshitting. Your spirit, you need to raise up your spirit where your humanity is now taking orders from your spirit. My humanity takes orders from my spirit now.
Right.
My spirit is not controlled by my humanity. That's like the fucking blind leading, you know what I'm saying, God to the promised land. You know what I'm saying? Right.
And
or the Israelites leading Moses to the promised land. Moses is supposed to lead them motherfuckers.
Exactly.
So the dream is your subconscious mind's way of trying to relate information to you. And I told y'all last time, symbols are the language of the subconscious mind. That's why you got to get books on symbols, the Encyclopedia of Occult Symbols.
Right.
E.C. Cooper. Start with.
Correct.
And in it, he'll give you, if you don't understand what an elephant means, you keep dreaming of seeing an elephant. Now, your astral world is in contact you with all the time. That's daydreaming. Stand on the line at a Walmart, zone out, have a good idea. That's the same thing as your dream. So it ain't like these dreams are the only thing talking to you. Your mind is connected. When you zone out, you're going into alpha state. I told you that. I know the science on it as well. The alpha state slows the brain waves, it slows the consciousness down, and the subconscious mind reigns supreme. When you're first nodding off, that's when you're going into alpha state, and that's when you're programming the subconscious mind. So when you meditate yourself to sleep, meditate into alpha state. Then you go deeper, all that delta and theta, dreams and REM. And see, then you lose control of your consciousness. But again, in the Astral Dynamic book, you want to get the consciousness to ride along with you too. So when you're going into delta and theta and REM, your consciousness is right there basically taking notes. When you wake up, you got to investigate the images that you do remember, and you will start to remember more for those who can't remember much, and the emotions, how you felt. Because if you notice, you feel it. See, nobody ever talks about this as well. And you don't find this in any of the books. Perhaps you can find it if you look hard enough, but they ain't telling you this. You got to probe how you felt when you seen that symbol. Well, I seen a monkey falling out of a banana tree. Well, was you scared? Because I don't know if anybody noticed that. You have a feeling about your dreams. Sometimes you ever wake up crying? Wake up like, or wake up, ready to fuck.
Right.
You woke up on the wrong side of the bed. Because your dreams that's what a nightmare is, put you in an emotional state.
Right.
Now, with that being said, you got to probe, well, that's your first clue. While I was sitting on the couch with my grandmother, how did I feel? Well, I felt like how I used to feel when she baked me a chocolate cake. That's your spirit who can see past, present, and future saying, go bake a chocolate cake. Go get some chocolate cake. So you eat the cake. You may not know how one thing has to do with the other, but I just told you, the subconscious mind has a bird's eye view. So what you can't see in the future, it can see. So you don't need to always even question, well, what's this going to do? Will I get my $1 million now? But it may be 3 steps behind the path to get your $1 million. May eat the cake, that may make you want to go to the park, and you go to the park, you may trip over a skateboard, which makes you go to the doctor. You meet a doctor, and you get happily married because you wanted the marriage in the beginning. So that kind of thing is how the spirit is running it. So when you dream about, I was eating chocolate cake with my grandmother, go get a chocolate cake. That's how simple our shit is. That's why when I hear these fucking statements in these books, I'm like, y'all taking some simple shit some simple nigger shit, complicating that shit into some shit that's from Shakespeare. You know what I'm saying? And it's really not necessary. I get where that has a play and it has a, but that's not, our people don't need that now. We need the simpler, we need the ones who can understand those. We need to take those things that they're saying, telling them where the book understand, and taking that thing and down. We always say, break that shit down, dog. Break that shit down. But this is what breaking that shit down means. Make it plain, nigga. Keep it real, nigga. But this is what that means. Taking complex information, which I study and can understand. There's rarely some shit that you could put in front of me and I'm going to go, huh? Not in this occult shit. So with that, I'm going to even call it a gift. I feel it's my obligation to take what I can understand and people who are not so adept in that area, who want to know, who want to learn, give it to them like it was originally meant and their fucking birthright. Make it plain. Let them know. If these motherfuckers think they're going to light a candle and get $1 million, guess what? They're fucking stupid.
That's
I
right.
don't deal with stupid. This is not stupid people. I don't deal on the kindergarten level. So that doesn't even hit my radar. I need motherfuckers who wants to make it real. And that's why I have to charge for my class, because whoever's going to pay for it ain't thinking that no candle's going to get them $1 million fucking dollars.
That's right. That's right.
They're going to pay for it. So two things. Paying for it helps me pay the rent, but at the same time, it separates clowns for some motherfuckers who want some real knowledge, some real interaction. If you ain't doing methodology, then you ain't doing it. And a lot of people ain't talking about methodology. They're talking about theories.
Correct.
Theories of what the astral travel in the world with. Everybody got theories and whatever. I can tell you from my experience. But here's the even better news. I'm not even going to make a book that defines the astral world, because you may experience it a different way. But I will make a book on telling you how to do what I did, because this worked for me. And if you find something better for yourself that works, go for that and find what you find. So I'm not trying to convince nobody that Nelson Mandela is the truth. I'm convinced for me. It's my motherfucking mind. I can share it with you. If you feel a certain way, who gives a fuck? You know, because I'll get an email every once in a while. Well, I think Nelson Mandela was really this, that, the other. You know what my answer is to them? I don't have no fucking answer. I don't answer that. Who cares?
Exactly.
Who the fuck cares? Like, you know, I did this whole thing. Michael Jackson came through. I tell you all the shit that he came through. He came to me. How could he come to you? I said, well, you sound like a stupid human. He's not one individual no more. He could come to every single mind on the planet at the same time. He's not a singularity anymore.
Right.
So the energy that he shared with me is a level for my teaching, my next life. He may have just did the fucking moonwalk for your ass, because that's all you are.
That's right.
And that may be magical for your ass.
Right.
So I'm like, no, he didn't come to me for this. No. Certain aspects came to me just like they could come to him, her, and the other one. It's not about being special. In the fact they think that I'm saying something egotistical or special because I'm special and Michael came to me. I'm saying, no, Michael meant everything to all of us. That's my mind and subconscious mind's going to attract to that energy when he dies, like everybody the fuck else. Who the fuck didn't like Michael Jackson, even with his fucking white face?
That's right.
So you know what I'm saying? So of course we're going to be able to pick him up and raise him up. You know what I'm saying? So I went through a whole thing of all the shit he came through with the same Michael shit. You know what I'm saying? And of course, because I know these concepts, that's how he's going to show me the energy. Doesn't mean he ain't show you the Beat It video in your dream. So what you got is, again, human perspective trying to run spirit instead of spirit trying to run human. But that guy was saying in his statement, you got to understand how the spirit works before you can even tap into it. And you got to understand how humanity works, how below works, before you can actually go past it.
Correct.
And that's
an important point. That's right. That's an important point. And something you said a couple of minutes ago, which I think is key, especially for myself. I mean, and I'm sure everybody can relate to it. But like you said, there has to get that point in the journey where people have to get rid of teachers and have to get rid of gurus and conscious pimps and all these other things that I believe they hold on to as crutches because they don't want to take that. I've learned people get lazy and they think everybody's supposed to do the shit for them. And as you said, nobody can do it for you. You have to do it for yourself. And the reason why I bring up the dream world, and I can attest to this from personal experience, like you said, it is as easy when you understand it to lay down and go to sleep at night. And before you go to sleep, if you got a concern on your mind, you can literally just put thought towards getting the answer to that concern. And just
they say it all the time in the white world. Well, we got to make a decision. Let me sleep on it.
Yeah, that's right. Yep, good point. That's an excellent point. And man, you're right. You could have like you said, a situation that might be concerning you at work or something that might have happened that day at work. And like you said, you will, because the subconscious mind is focused its energy on it, you will have some type of dream or some type of vision that will be in relation to that. I mean, that's really how simple it is. But again, you just got, like you say, you don't even waste your time with these fools. People are still over intellectualizing. Like, I mean, I go, like you say, you go through YouTube. I'm laughing watching, fucking House of Conscious and Hebrew Israelites debating, and I'm saying, people, I don't give a fuck. I mean, I couldn't care, debating about who's right or who's wrong because at the end of the day, it's not giving us anything substantial to hold on to or that we can work with to better ourselves. It's just a bunch of rhetoric, back and forth knowledge and information. But I'm glad you bring that point up. We have to get past that stage where we're constantly depending on something or somebody. Now, it doesn't mean you can't, like you say, we all have to have teachers as examples, and that's okay to use it as a roadmap. But like you
first,
said,
you need to understand what a teacher is. Not a teacher if he's not making you a teacher.
There you go.
So if this guy's making you in his organization a follower of his philosophy, then you're in a cult. Then you're in a cult.
That's right.
If someone is not trying to show you what they know, because that's what a teacher does. You watch karate movies. And you killed my teacher, I'm doing this for my teacher. But the teacher's trying to show them how to be like who? Himself.
That's right.
Taking them through stages. So don't feel guilty if you've been listening to me for a while, because as I adapt, you adapt, because you're listening to me adapt. So
that's right.
But as long as I'm saying, this is what I did, this is how I do it, this is how you should do it, this is what you can read that, this and that, then you're being taught. Because then you can walk away with something to do on Tuesday. But if I'm saying this is what I found out, I'm on this, and the aliens only speak to me, then you need to raise a motherfucking eyebrow.
That's right.
Nelson Mandela only speaks through me, then you need to raise an eyebrow. I'm Osiris, then you need to raise an eyebrow. Come back from Saturn to save you, raise an eyebrow.
That's right. That's right.
I didn't come from nowhere you niggas don't come from. That's what you want to hear. I didn't learn anything that you niggas cannot learn. Or like Jesus said, you can do what I can do, even greater, which is really a statement, the True Teachers occult statement, which they hacked, I'm sure, out of Gnosticism, is saying that there is no limit on your mind. So if you see me as somebody who's up there doing whatever, you first need to understand that whatever I could do, you could do, and since there's no limit, you can even do greater. That's what that statement means. You can do what I can do, and even greater. In other words, that's another way of saying, don't worship me. Ironically, these motherfuckers worship Jesus to all get the fuck out.
That's correct. Excellent point.
Now, it means don't worship me. You can do what I can do. You're Jesus. That's what he said. You're Jesus. And even greater. You're my dick, but you can be even greater. So
that's right.
If a teacher ain't telling you that, and I've been telling you that since I opened my mouth to you people, then he's not a teacher. He's trying to manipulate you, trying to lead you. When I came and I'm doing this, and something told me to lead my people. You know what I'm saying? I ain't gonna look for no fucking Moses.
That's right. Good point. If we could, before, maybe we could touch on this, right, because I know I got a gang of people waiting to talk to you. If we could, I know we've talked about on previous shows people that maybe have not tapped into the subconscious mind and addressed maybe some trauma or emotional things or personal experiences that happened in their life that might be affecting them. In dealing with the dream world, because I know some of that comes through in the dream world, whether people are conscious of it or not, how important is that when people really paying close attention to that, or maybe people that have not addressed it? Because we've talked about this before, you broke it down. What connection is that to the dream world? Does sometimes is that revealed to some of them individuals? Because I hear people constantly in conversation saying they do have dreams about stuff that's affected them in the past. How should one approach a situation like that?
His mind is still trying to cure them and give them answers for hurts.
Okay.
So chakra work is the process of relieving yourself in the heart chakra. I teach it in class, how to start relieving yourself. The blank statement that's not really explained is called getting past humanity. Humanity is really basically nothing but out of control emotions based upon needs that you created. Right. So if you always need, if I created a need to always hug, and then Khadijah doesn't hug as much as I like, and I can start to say she's not loving. Doesn't mean she's not loving, because Khadijah stab a nigga in his face easy for me. But if I don't get enough hugs because that's something in my emotional thing, it's fuck. But this is a human agenda. The true aspect of love is you need to accept that person for who and what they are.
Okay.
And we don't know how to do that kind of shit. That's called unconditional love, a love without certain conditions. So more than just unconditional love, we find this conditional love everywhere, not just between mates. How people are supposed to, how your friend's supposed to treat you, how your boss is supposed to treat you. For instance, my son now, one of his rap groups got attention by that lady, Miss Deb. And the only reason I know this bitch, she's Waka Flocka's mother, because I do watch Love and Hip Hop. Say what you want. You know what I'm saying? It's the most ignorant shit ever. And I'm studying this shit. You know what I'm saying? I'm studying this fucking nigga shit. Just as soon as I think my jaw has dropped, we know how to drop that shit some more. You know what I'm saying? Right. And this lady was on the show. So I seen her on the show, her attitude, and apparently she's that manager bitch right now. So she's from out here, Atlanta. So his mixtape partners get some attention. They doing meetings with her. So I'm asking my son, he's giving me this arrogant. He gonna buy us a house. We already bought our house. Motherfucker, why don't you buy you an apartment, nigga? You know what I'm saying? Right. Anyway, so I had to sit him down one day. I said, tell me what the core is of the music business. After you get past all the fanfare, what is it you're selling? Right. This is his answer. Myself. I said, all the fucking books I gave you. I said, the core of the music business is writing. It's called publishing. Publishing, you have to control your publishing. If you don't even understand, I said, you would have sat down with that lady, and she's going to ask you the same question. What are you here for? What do you know about the music business? What are you selling? What are you here to sell? As soon as you go, myself, she's not going to say nothing that I'm going to say to you. She's going to smile because now she knows she can't eat with you, but she can eat off you. Right. So you're proving that you don't know the business. She's going to give you the 1-2. So what's merchandising? I don't know. I said merchandising share is what record companies used to take 100% of from rappers. Until rappers realized after endorsements started coming in, they're fucked. When I worked at the rock label, them niggas would fight for 90 to 95% of their merchandising rights because what rockers do their shows and touring is their big business. They don't even rely on record label sales, which are nothing because you never recoup nothing, and they recoup even more in rock because they don't have videos with fucking helicopters and everybody wearing fucking Burberry and wind machines. So all of that comes out your budget. Some record labels make you pay for your CDs. Every phone call I made at the record label, I had to justify. And I'll give you names you know, because you won't know these rock names. So why would you add lunch for LL Cool J? Why was you at this meeting for Run DMC? Why was that meeting for Houdini? Why was you on the phone for 30 hours for Houdini? And then they bill all that shit against their royalties. Every phone call. So when you get 100,000, 150,000, what you're really getting is $1 million for the budget. All phone calls, all traveling, flying, plane tickets, every flyer, every sticker, every flat, every phone call, every something make you pay for the CDs themselves. That's right. Even recoup. That's why you hear these stories, which are true. Mary J. Blige didn't even start recouping, meaning getting a check from the record company since the third album, because all the helicopters, music videos is fucking $1 million music videos. You paying for that? Comes out of your half, which is less than fucking 10% out of that 100. Wholesale is where you make the money. You don't make money if you buy the record. They make money who sells to the stores. The stores have the ability, if the record doesn't sell, to do shipbacks, returns. So, as a producer, I'm not in the contract with, let's say, Def Jam. So, as a producer, you get your money off the sales. So, if their record only sells 250,000, which is considered a flop, they ship 500,000. They may ship gold. They can send those back, but the producer gets that cut of the ship gold. So you get the money. The artist is starving. The artist making their day money off shows. The rock people understood this, so they would get the merchandise. That's why you see rocks always have the Metallica T-shirts. They always have them goddamn signed guitars. They would have flat signed posters. They would do all this at their shows, hats, sell them, and they wouldn't have to break the record company off much. Record companies in early rap, all merchandising took it until niggas started doing liquor ads and Burberry, and Run DMC got Adidas. All the rest of that, and then as you know, that's why keep the record company out of Puffy of what was Bad Boy. It was called Sean John, right? Because if he would have named his clothing line Bad Boy, would have had to, which is really paying itself, but the taxes would have been different, or whatever business move. He made it a separate entity because if he would have named it Bad Boy, he still has merchandising. He has to deal with other people. Now he made it his own, which everyone knows Sean John is Bad Boy. You didn't have to do too much. It didn't make it Rockefeller Records, it did Rockaware. So he changed this shit so it wouldn't interfere with the merchandising. That's my son. Which are all books I gave him on what the music business is, what the cause is, what's merchandising. He has no clue. He's going through all of this shit and has no clue. So today he comes in, like they had an Empire meeting at this Deb lady's house last night. He's looking all frowny and mopey. I'm like, what's up? He said, well, there's 4 of them in the group, whatever. Nigga named Killer. She said, there's this one nigga. He said, he's really the hottest nigga in the group. He said, I don't know, but after the meeting, she's staying longer. She's telling them this. I hear her talking. She's talking about my artist and saying the one dude's name. And I'm like, he's telling me, I'm like, you're getting your dose of reality. They did that, they showed that shit in the early as the Temptations and James Brown movies. Oh, you know, the fucking 5 Heartbeats. You know, we don't really need the rest of the group. We need you. Change it to James Brown and the Famous Flames, not the Famous Flames. We could do this without you, James. They did it in the Doors. In that movie. Well, we're going to call it Jim Morrison and the Doors, not just the Doors. So that's common. He don't even know that. He's looking like he's disappointed, like it's some homeboy shit. I'm like, you don't even know your business. You know what I'm saying? And we don't even know our business. And we get into these things and all these things, and like everything else, we don't know our business. So we don't know even what Astral World and Astral Traveling is, but still want to do shit. We have to get down to the core of understanding who and what these things are. How could you be strong and confident in something where you really don't know who and what it is? You need a practical, everyday understanding of the Astral World. Now, I'll try to do it, but you really got to research it. And the best I could do is give you a clue and give you a framework. But why don't you go read something now that you understand a framework and look for this kind of framework and see what you see. Don't even get married to what I say, but at least have a clue, because when you read a statement like this statement in the beginning, niggas ain't going to get nothing from that. It sounds like some philosophy shit. You know what I'm saying? And certain niggas can understand. I'm clear you can understand. I can understand it easy. But so the books Bobby has been giving out all these years is, if you take Bobby, his study is basically he studied everything. But because he was on the lecture circuit, he narrowed down the books that we can use. The shit that doesn't take you into these fucking fantasy worlds of philosophy and undecipherable shit, which he knows a lot of them because he knows I understand that, so he's recommended certain books like that for me. He's like, no, right, you may want to piece through this. This is a reference book. He's giving me those kind of fucking books where it's like, what the fuck is this nigga talking about? A lot of the books where they pull from the Matrix and all this shit, he's giving me those, but he doesn't recommend those too much to people because it'll just confuse our black people. Shit that they can understand. There's writers that write as teachers. They take a concept, make it ABC. That's why I like that Astral Dynamic book. He takes hard concepts. He writes it so a third grader can understand it. Then there's the fucking books that you read and like, what are they trying to prove this shit to? Who are they talking to? They're trying to make other motherfuckers believe they're smart. And that happens with the lecture shit. It's either someone is teaching you or someone's trying to show you how deep they are. Y'all got to peep that.
No, well, yeah, and it's funny because I'm glad you bring that up. Like, I'm watching these cats and you got these other cats. I'm always noticing certain people gravitate towards fields where they're comfortable. Like, I was watching, me and my son were watching a few lectures like a week or so ago, and they got this brother, Minister Enki, breaking. He's into all this science shit. And I'm sitting there saying the same thing that you just said as we're watching it. I told my son, I was like, nobody understood a damn thing he just said. Even though we did, he's breaking down amoebas and plasma and blood, and it shit sounds good, but this is what I'm saying. People get engulfed in it. It sounds heavy. It sounds deep. But again, at the end of the day, having said all that, it really, like you said, it went over everybody's head because everybody's there shaking their head going, yeah. But I know goddamn person.
Hey, wait a minute. What the fuck does that mean, man? You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
Because no one wants to seem stupid.
Exactly. And like I say, it sounds heavy, but at the end of the day, and again, the word practical. What can the average individual that was listening to the breakdown of amoebas and plasma and algae and all the different aspects of evolution and creation? I mean, it's all over intellectualized bullshit. At the end of the day, other than a history and a science class, but how can we take any of that information and practically apply it? And what is it going to do to benefit for us? And again, that ties into the fact, like you just said, at the end of the day, is it ego-driven? Is it people doing this stuff just because they want to impress people for what they know? Because that's how I look at a lot of the debate thing. I'm not saying anybody that does lectures or debates doesn't have good intent, and that's why I'm glad you brought that up earlier. It's always about the intent. And whatever the intent behind it, it'll show. So you could be on the surface pretending like you're doing this shit to teach people, but on the inside, those that are really keen to what's going on, you can see the ego, like it's driven by the ego. You got a bunch of fools up there debating back and forth just so one can show the other in front of a group of people that I know more than you type of shit. And, I mean, that's the shit that's pretty much irrelevant.
Well, the key is, like, to really help black people, if you have an ability, and again, for lack of a better word, a gift, and you do understand these things, like the real open-hearted person is trying to say, I have a gift, I understand this on a level, and I know most black people don't understand it. Let me give it to them. First of all, Malcolm X said this. The true teacher can take any concept and explain it to anybody, even a 3-year-old. That's right. The sign of a real teacher. So if you have the ability, and I'm sure you do, whomever and whatever you are, to understand or grasp one area, a concept, the good idea, the open-hearted idea, the true to your heart idea for teaching black people is taking those concepts and make it like a third grader can understand it. Because black people ain't going to say nothing. They're going to go, deep, my brother. But, that's right. But really, what they participated in was sitting in the place where they felt they were doing something smarter than watching Love and Hip Hop. See, Because that's people go, how did you watch Love and Hip Hop? Because I really do smarter shit. I don't need to tell myself I can't watch Love and Hip Hop or something of the sort or whatever the fuck I want to do because I need to be doing something smart. Watching hearing people sound deep to make myself feel better. No, I'm actualizing top-notch genius shit. So therefore, I take a break and watch fucking black people act fucking retarded. And I also study it and get the spirit on that mind control, and can speak on mind control based upon watching The Wire and all that other shit. I didn't watch that on TV. I study all that shit. I came here to study every fucking thing, not just one thing. And that's including now ignorance. You get what I'm saying? So the true mark of a teacher, and I go by what Malcolm X said. You don't got to go with my philosophy because I don't have to debate. I go by motherfuckers who are certified teachers. Anybody who knows something can explain it to you like you a 3-year-old. Like you can understand as a 3-year-old. So when I heard that, I said, wow, that's what I do. My whole thing is taking these concepts without even being conscious of it and explaining to our black people like, no, look at it like this. It's simple as making a chocolate cake.
That's right.
You know, the astral projecting, there's a fluid that comes off in the crystalline dew that regurgitates during the kundalini spread that backs into the neurological system to transform through the spinal cord. It's like, what you just explain it coolly? Just say, yo, if you don't keep the melanin in the head through these techniques, it's going to go back into the nervous system. That's why you hear black don't crack. Everybody know what that is. Everybody heard that before. You know what I'm saying? Black don't crack. Well, why doesn't black don't crack? Well, here's the science. Because every time you go to sleep, that's why they call it beauty rest, you have a kundalini experience. And the melanin starts to rush from the pineal. But because you're not doing any meditation in the astral traveling, the melanin gets absorbed into the nervous system. That's why black people's skin is better. That's why we look better. That's why we see better. And all of that, because it's becoming neuromelanin. But spirituality, you're trying to take that neuromelanin and keep it up in heaven. That's where you get the water and the wine concept. Now, I can tell that story in many different ways, in many different understandings, but I'm telling it so my black people understand it. That's what teaching is. So you're not really talking with teachers. You're talking with people who are trying to bedazzle your ass. Especially if they came up into the world of debates, then no matter, even if they're sitting alone talking, they're still always in proving mode. They're always still trying to prove themselves. So it's now in their interest to start saying shit that most people don't understand. Why? Because if you say it where a lot of people can't understand, then no one can debate you.
Correct.
So to leave yourself out of the debates, you just say it so high and elevated. You know what I'm saying?
That's right. That's right.
So instead of saying, you open up your Shanshana chakra and your, you know what I'm saying, the Shumbaneta chakra, and say it like this, chakra, the Shumbaneta chakra opens, and then and you're like, what the fuck is that? You know what I'm saying? You can say the heart chakra. See, when you say it in these fancy ways that you've read in the book and learn how to say it, you know what I'm saying? See, another nigga I appreciate, Brother Wayne Chandler, because Wayne said it to me. He said, yo, because he studied Blavatsky. You know what I'm saying? Even when he said the book, he said it to me like no one's never heard of it. He said, you have to get, he said the full name, Helena, whatever her middle name is, he said the name Blavatsky.
Right.
The way he said it, I was like, what, HP Blavatsky? Yeah. He's like, yes. You have to get a book called The Secret Doctrine. I had that shit for 10 years. I can't read that indecipherable shit. It's just sitting there along with the ISIS or whatever she wrote, Cosmic ISIS or whatever. So, but he studied that deeply, so he's passionate about it. But this is what he did do. He said, when I come to your house, I'm going to bring my book because there's a lot of words she talks about which I got the meanings on. And page for page, you could just copy the meanings right out of my book into your book. Now, that's love. And he said these words because he's so used to niggas being deep. He said, I'm going to be real with you. I didn't know what those words meant. It took me a while to decode them and get the meanings on them. So I don't know if you know what they mean. I said, no, Wayne, I don't know what they mean. And thank you. That's a blessing. And that's real. That's a real teacher, because what he's doing is trying to not front and say all these fancy schmancy words, we breaking them down. He said, I had to break them down. That's what's real. That's what's real.
Right.
So
Correct.
even though he still can bedazzle you on levels based upon knowing these fancy schmancy, and these words was when he did come, and I copied out his book, page for page, all the shit, all his notes out this, The Secret Doctrine. When I did that, what I was able to see was that's a real teacher. That's a real dude. So when I see, and I know he's able to do a lecture and say all those words and keep people lost. But Wayne's a real teacher.
Right.
Lecturing is a second thing. He's a writer and a teacher. So you hear the teaching in Wayne. You know what I'm saying? That's teacher to teacher. You'll hear that in Aleem, a guy who I also know who understands very advanced, complex dialogue and concepts, that when he's teaching, he's taking these complex dialogue and making them plain. We don't even have to speak on Bobby Hemmett. He turned the devil into a funny-ass nigga.
That's right.
For blacks all across the world. Those are true teachers, because they're taking their study, which is advanced concepts, trust and believe. Y'all don't even know how deep I can really get into this occult shit and lose niggas. With just my book learnerings. You get what I'm saying? Just all this. We remember back in the days, niggas standing in the cipher and breaking shit down. I lose motherfucking in mind. And don't let that spirit come through. And I start getting hyped. I will kill it. But I'm mindful of saying that's what I know. That's a, for lack of a better word, a gift, but it's really what I came down here to do. That's the power I came down here with. My obligation is to then relate that to black folks who are either stuck down here or have abilities in other areas. So when I hear these guys who do have abilities in other areas, I'm like, but I'm not going to hear you give me a scientific thing, because know what, nigga? I know how to fucking read. Don't quote no book. Just tell me the book then, and I'll read and be just as confused in the fucking book as I am with your fucking lecture, if we want to call it that. Because what we're really seeing is your fucking grandstanding.
Exactly.
So fuck your grandstanding. Why grandstanding, nigga? I don't need no other nigga to grandstand. Show me the fucking book, and I'll read the author's grandstanding. You get what I'm saying? Or instead of grandstanding, take what you have learned and give it to us. Because everybody is doing this for the people. You ever notice that? It's the people. The people. Yep. We're for the people. Well, something.
Uniting black folks. That's my favorite. Trying to unite black folks.
Yeah, I mean, come on, man. Like, okay, do whatever you came here to do. I could care less. Just like the nigga for $1 million who, I don't hit my radar. This doesn't hit my radar. Y'all have at it. That's what y'all came to do. I'm talking to people who are stepping up for this. I'm not out here to seek anybody, pull anybody in, tell any black person this is the way to go. Let me say this to be clear. I am not here to save black people. I'm here to save my black ass, and my obligation is to share some of the secrets I find out for those who are seeking it.
That's right.
So the black race, do whatever the black race does. In fact, that's why I think you're gods. And I think you made the decision to come here to wear skinny jeans, to sag, to be Crips and Bloods. That's a part of a divine order. See, if I'm going to call myself gods and you're going to call yourself gods, then you can't say something's wrong when you see Crips and Blood. You're going to have that faith that whatever they're doing is a part of a work that you don't understand. So then the next breath don't get to say humanity ain't nothing and this ain't nothing. If humanity ain't nothing, this is illusion and all the rest of that shit you say, then Crips and Bloods and Trayvon shouldn't mean nothing. It should mean to your humanity, so you should have compassion and understanding. You ain't want to stab nobody, kick no old ladies down the steps. But at the same time, this emotional, life-changing disposition that you are gaining because of these events needs to be in question. Should some people do it? Absolutely, because that's what they came down here for. The Al Sharpton came here to do exactly what he came to do. Debaters came to debate. Let them. Ain't no debating it. Ain't nobody going at nobody. Do whatever you got to do. This shouldn't hit your radar, Mr. or Mrs. Occultist. The end.
Right.
The idea of being an occultist is saying, I'm for the hidden culture, not for the regular culture.
That's right.
So the regular culture is doing all of this shit, saving people and saving babies. I'm not knocking them, let them do it. So, see, the problem is when they try to get you to do it. Don't get in my business. Take care of your fucking business.
That's right.
So
Excellent.
I take care of my business because I don't expect them to be occultists no more than they expect me to save black fucking people. If that's your job, do your fucking job. So in other words, I don't give a fuck what they doing. I'm more entertained by it, just like I'm entertained by loving hip-hop.
That's right.
It's entertaining to me. It's a shame on a human level. Look at what they're doing to the black woman. Yes, I get it. I understand. But it doesn't bother me because my emotions don't run that way. I'm not controlled by my emotions. I control my emotions. So the same thing as people who are talking this civil rights shit or whatever the fuck they calling it these days, it doesn't bother me either. Let them do their work. This has nothing to do with me.
That's right.
Who I talk to are not confused. The people who deal with me ain't confused on that, or not on that level at least. What they're trying to do is break into more and more deeper things, and that's what I help black people with. Well, if you're here, here's your next step. You're at step 3, here's step 4. You're at step 5, here's step 6. A lot of new people come, and I tell them, well, listen to more of my lectures, listen to some of this, read these books. Bobby Hemmett talked about this. This one talked about that. Brother Phil talked about that. This one talked about that. Well, read Richard King, this and that, to give them a foundation and let them find what they're looking for. But if you think whatever's happening in whatever system that you're watching is the shit, then my answer to you know something? You are 100% right. It is the shit. That's why you're here. You came here to eat rabbit stew. Eat rabbit fucking stew. What the fuck does that have to do with anything we're doing?
That's right.
I came here, as I pointed out in the beginning, cult science, transformation, evolution, and enlightenment. If I find a system better than the occult, please, somebody inform me. I'm with it. Let's go. Let's get with it.
There you go. All right, brother, let's go to the phone. I know we got a bunch of people waiting to talk to you.
All right, before we go, I just want to add one thing.
Sure, go ahead.
This is what I found out today. My girl, Courtney, she's the one who did the edits for my book, proofreading. She's badass. She's also got children's conscious books coming. When they're out, I'm going to give you all the information. She'll probably be on my website so y'all can get this book. Because people have always been asking me, what books can I use to teach my child? Ta-da, she created one. So I'm going to give that. Now, she's also a yoga teacher, Kundalini yoga. So you know me. Fuck yoga is exercising. I'm sure it does whatever it does. Today, I am a new man. This motherfucker came over today, gave me a yoga session.
Right.
Now, surprisingly, I was able to do all the easy I'm on the easy level. This is, let's get it real. But what I found out is some of the moves I was doing, I was instantly, because they were all Kundalini moves, instantly in the spiritual zone. Instantly.
Right.
I've seen spirits all around me, just like I was doing my work. And what I realized, as soon as those spirits came around me, was this. See, I'm always having backaches, leg pains, restless knee. I'm always stretching, cracking my back, have to get massages, have to go to a chiropractor. My body never cooperating for the 10 years, corresponding with the 10 years of me raising all this energy to my motherfucking head. Listen closely to this. Raising all this energy to my motherfucking head. So getting the spiritual zone, I told you all that, but what does it do? It neglects the body. So doing this yoga, it was absolutely positively clear. When I'm raising this Kundalini in my head doing the yoga moves, I'm moving spiritual energy throughout the body. Tonight, my back, all this shit was here. I was ready to fucking run a mile. I was like, niggas need to call now. I'm ready to do this lecture. I felt the spiritual energy walking through, which is something I never did. Then I ain't going to co-sign with all yoga, and it's the only way to do it. Because what I said is most people are doing yoga, but don't know what to do with spiritual energy once they raise it. So since they don't know what to do, all they do is become healthy. Well, I can flex more, and I can fuck more, and I'm sexier. But see, I understood I could raise this energy and then also use the same energy, which is in the book Cyclomancy that I sell, how to move energy. And I found out, she was telling me, the same dude, Frank Rudolph Young, did a yoga book. And it makes so much sense because he's talking about in Cyclomancy how to move psychic energy throughout the body. So when I'm doing these poses, I can feel Kundalini rushing to the leg to heal it, rushing to the back to heal it. The breathing in the lungs I felt the prana, the chi, the Kundalini rushing around. So I'm going to have to recant a lot of that, whatever, for yoga. So I understand the concept now. The particular yoga we do, I'll get the name for the next time, but it was Kundalini yoga, not the hieroglyphs yoga, which I don't, I'm not going to shit on it or co-sign with it because I don't know what it does. But she was saying, I can't remember the Swami she was telling me, but he said all forms of yoga is great. This right here is the ancient fire yoga, they call it. So she was showing me, different breaths. I could see that power. So I'm going to have to turn around. Like I said, I throw everything I said away in the past for some new shit. So all of y'all who are having body problems, what I'm going to do is find out her information. She does it on Skype too. So y'all niggas could do some techniques with her through Skype. And she's one of them who knows how to take advantage. Her parents were conscious and into Bobby. She was born into it. And she's one of them ones who knows how to take advanced information and explain it to you like a 3-year-old. She explained this shit to me. I was wrapped up into what she was saying based upon a real teacher. So she's going to do it on Skype. I'm going to see when she's ready. So for those who want to do it, when I tell you, she showed me how to raise Kundalini, and I felt it in my head. Even the average Joe can't do, who is not in the spirituality. I only recognized it based upon all my spiritual. But then I started seeing it come to the arms. I've never experienced that. Because all my work was about the mind and not really neglecting the body. So I see that certain forms of yoga are how, once you become spiritual, how to move, how it's the true exercise. It's not calisthenics and lifting weight, because you're still doing calisthenics and working the heart, but it's the true spiritual exercise. Some of that shit is made up for commercial use, and I'm sure it does what it do, but the shit she was doing. So her name is Courtney, and I'll get her information for the next time. Y'all email me, and I'll give you an email. Y'all can do Skype sessions with her, and she may do it live between Atlanta or whatever. But after recant, I now see, off of just one session today, what that shit was. The light came through. I said, oh, I always had a problem with, like, I'm doing all the spiritual work, but my body is not following it. Right. What am I missing? What am I missing that's not moving this through my body? And I always kept saying, I think it's yoga, but not to the intense, where you standing on your head all the fucking time. You know what I'm saying? Like, well, I think it's Qigong. So now, let me tell you, Wayne showed me directly moves. Still didn't take. Wayne sent a sister over, because I learned from women. Them titties explaining shit just means a whole bunch more than some ashy niggas' elbows. So he sent the woman over. She was tight with it. I wish I could remember her name. She has a book too. And I'm going to get her name. I'm going to talk to her, get her name, see if she does the Qigong. She does it over Skype as well. So anybody in the Qigong, a badass sister. I got her on Miss Blue's show before. She did the mental illness book. She's around. I'm going to get in contact with her, see what she's up to. Bad for Qigong. And so I learned from her. Lean came and did it. Lean did a whole fucking tape for me. And I'm filming it going, yeah. I can't do it from niggas. It never really stuck. But this shit will stick. And I could see it was the missing thing. It was the thing that was missing, the last thing for me to now take spiritual energy and use that power to energize what was ailing me in the body. This, I promise you, especially if you're having this, little bit of aches and pains based upon your spiritual shit, or just to do it, just to move the spirituality around your whole. She knows how to empower each chakra, all the chakras, or each chakra individual. She knows how to empower the aura And we didn't even get to none of that. We just did the techniques on breathing and moving energy around.
Right.
I tell you, I'm still energized. Nigga, my shit be hurting. I hate walking up steps. That's how fucked up my shit was. I walked upstairs to get the yoga mat and was like, I don't think I'm going to make it today. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
That shit was I was ready to do every motherfucking thing. Go outside and eat babies. Mike Tyson said, I'll eat your fucking children. Ready to go outside and eat the neighbor's children. That's how ill it was. So I'm going to put y'all on to her information soon, but I have to recant all that. I never really said fuck yoga, but I never paid attention to it. Now I'm endorsing it on some form. I'm not telling you to become the absolute, unless that's what you're here to do, become the absolute yogi and you're going to become a spiritual adept. But if you can incorporate that, I think it'll go a long way.
Nice. Well, no, that's it. Like I said, Brother Panic sharing his personal yoga epiphany. Ain't nothing wrong with that. But like you said, there's different types of yoga. And you're not, like you say, you're not saying all of it's valid, but you had your experience. And, hey, it is what it is. But definitely when you get that info, definitely pass it to us. We'll definitely
email me, and I'll send you her email. So y'all can start emailing me at panicpack@hotmail.com, or y'all can email me on my website. Go to occultlectures.com. That's occultlectures.com. At the top, contact. Just send me an email that you want an info. I'll pass it on, and then I'll give it out to the masses next time. And what I'm saying is, it's another way. It's another way of Kundalini work. And she has a particular yoga. There's a name in a blah, because there's different types of yoga. This is the one that I know it raises Kundalini. Everything is pumping from the root chakra up. And she studied for a while. She's an actual certified trainer. Studied for a while, and let me tell you, this shit is the real deal. So my epiphany is the missing thing because someone kept telling me to do it. The spirit was telling me how I'm going to cure my body.
Right.
And that was that. And like I said, this motherfucking girl has been saving my black ass since I met her. You know what I'm saying? I did an actual nice gesture for her. Those of y'all who came to Aleem's lecture when I threw it out, which was massive out here, we had all the vendors in one room, and there was one spot where in the back of the actual lecture, so they had her back there. And, of course, nobody was going there to buy nothing. So I said, look, she complained. I never knew her, never met her. She complained. I said, no, I'm going to give you your money back. Gave her money back. Then I made an announcement, y'all need to buy her cakes and treats. Everybody did. And I could tell she was really impressed with how nice that was, because you hear panic and sound, especially back then, raw dog. So she was like really, impressed. I bought mad cakes myself, brought them home because she's a baker. She said she don't like to do that no more, and vegan and all that kind of shit. So I hadn't heard from, forgot all about it. It was just another black person that I met, and she came. I said, I remember this name from somewhere, Courtney. I think it's Jackson or something. And when she showed it to me, I was like, oh, you're the girl from this and that, this and that. Shit, bring some motherfucking muffins next week, goddammit. So she took the class again. And while she took and I could tell it was courtesy. And like I said, she grew up in it. And ultimately, she's like, well, I do book editing and this and that. I'm like, she said, but I stopped. I waited for a month, got on her ass. This motherfucker came through. I got to give shouts out to my girl Tamara, who started the ball rolling on the editing and the grammar. She came through and went through after I'm thinking this shit is ready to go, she went through every page and had red marks on this shit. Gave me 400 pages back. I said, no, fuck that shit. Why don't you just go ahead and do the shit? So we at the point now in my book where I got to skim through it one more time. She's going to correct the formatting. It's the cover and printing. So we about to print. This shit is about to be out within the month. So y'all be prepared for that. Of course, I'll come on the show when the book is out, and we're going to go mad with that.
Cool.
So this black girl has been saving my goddamn life. She's the one responsible for the book, and as soon as she said she taught yoga, I said, well, I'm going to get it from her. Some way for me to pay her, and return the favor. And shit, glad I did.
Nice. Cool. All right, so let's appreciate that info, Panic. And so let's go to the phone, because these fools here on the radio show got hip to us staying on late. So we probably got about another hour and 15 minutes. So let's see if we can at least talk to some people I know we're not going to be able to talk to everybody as usual. But let's see who we can get to. And again, if you're listening, unmute your phone, please. We always say that. Sometimes people forget. We're not going to be able to hear you. And if you don't have a question, just say I'm just listening. And that's it. And try to keep your question to one so we can try to get to as many callers as we can. All right, so let's go to our first call. We got somebody on the line from North Georgia. You're on the call, North Georgia. Question or comment? Anybody there from North Georgia? North Georgia going once, going twice. All right, let's go to the next caller. All right, we got somebody on the line from Central Minnesota. Central Minnesota, you're on the call. Do you got a question or a comment for Brother Panic? You're the only one on this line from Central Minnesota. Anybody there from Central Minnesota?
It's probably Prince, and he's probably listening in.
I'm just listening. Okay.
Yeah, right. See, it's Prince. He's just listening in, trying to get material for his new album.
All right, no problem. Appreciate it.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
My Minnesota sister.
All right, let's go to Southeast Pennsylvania. You're on the call with Brother Panic. Question or comment? Southeast Pennsylvania.
Oh, no, I'm just listening, bro.
All right, we appreciate you listening. Thank you. All right, let's go to our next call. We're just going to roll through them. Southeast Missouri. You're on the call. Southeast Missouri. If you got a question or a comment for Brother Panic, go ahead. Anybody there? Southeast Missouri. Phone's unmuted. You gotta unmute it. Once, twice, one more time. Southeast Missouri. Anybody there? All right, we're gonna keep it moving. Let's go to the next caller. We got West Maryland on the calls. West Maryland. Question or comment for Brother Panic? Hello, West Maryland. Anybody there from West Maryland?
Hello?
Hello?
Yes, you're on the call with Brother Panic. Do you have a question or a comment for Brother Panic? Go ahead.
I've just been enjoying the show thus far.
Brother Panic, do you have a question or a comment for Brother Panic? Go ahead.
I've just been enjoying the show thus far.
I'm sorry. Go ahead. You have bad echo on your phone. Are you still there?
Yeah, I just was enjoying the show.
Okay, just listening?
Yes.
Okay, we appreciate that, brother. All right, let's go to the next call. You still there, Brother Panic, right? Oh, I think we lost Panic. Hold on. Brother Panic, can you hear me? I think we might have lost him. Hold on. Brother Panic, can you hear me? Hold on 1 second. Give me 1 second. I think we lost Brother Panic. Brother Panic, can you hear me? Brother Panic, can you hear me?
Okay, now you can hear me.
Yeah,
I heard
I'm sorry.
I was on.
My bad. We lost you. All right, we got you back. All right, let's go back to the phones.
There we go.
All right, cool. All right, let's go to Southwest Florida. You're on the call. Southwest Florida. You got a question or a comment for Brother Panic? Anybody there from Southwest? I'm sorry?
I'm just listening.
All right, appreciate it, brother. Thank you for listening. All right, let's go to East Virginia. You're on the phone. You got a question or a comment for Brother Panic? Anybody there from East Virginia? All right, nobody there. We'll go to the next call. You still there, Brother Panic, right?
Yeah, I'm still here.
All right, I just want to make sure. All right, we got another call from North Georgia. North Georgia, you're on the call. Do you have a question or a comment from Brother Panic? North Georgia. I can hear you. Can you hear me? North Georgia, you got a question or a comment from Brother Panic? There's something wrong with your phone. I can hear the static, but you're not coming through. All right, let's go to East Maryland. We got a caller on the line from East Maryland. Hello. You got a question? You're on the call.
Hello?
You got a question?
Hello,
yes, you're on the call.
Hi, I have a question and a statement.
Okay.
My statement is, when everyone was getting all crazy about the CERN thing, I thought of it like it's not a bad thing, it's a good thing. And I kind of wanted to figure.
Oh, I'm sorry, hold on.
Hello?
Yeah, go ahead. You're back.
Hello?
We lost you for a second. You're there. Go ahead. Go
Okay.
ahead.
And I figured the best time would be when everybody was watching that damn Empire. I was like, you should not be watching TV. You should be out there with the moon doing whatever the hell they're doing because you can go further. If they were going to do something, they would have done it many years ago. But that was just my statement. My question for Panic is, my senses are all coming into one. Like, for instance, if I see something, my eyes will merge into like a kaleidoscope where I'm looking through one eye. If I hear somebody say something, it's no longer coming through the regular English channel or the regular English form. I'm hearing the words as they should be stated. Like, for instance, the metaphoric sense of our language, sometimes one word can mean many things. When people now speak to me, I'm hearing the words that they say, but the transmission is different in my mind. It's coming through in a different way. Do you know anything about that?
Can y'all hear me?
Yeah,
Yes.
we can hear you. Go ahead, Panic.
Yeah, okay. Well, I mean, I don't know anything about that, but I would know this, which is the most important thing, is you need to harness that because based upon your conscious plight, your conscious form of thinking, you just activated something in you. It's up to you to define and use that something and make it work for you greater than your human experience. So whatever that is, if you can't find it in the book or meditate your way for an answer, what power are you gaining from it? Do whatever it is you've been doing or try to do things to enhance it. So I would ask you this. When you're finding out, based upon your senses merging and somebody saying something, you're hearing other things, what information have you gained from that so far?
I read deeper into the scenario. It helps me to predict my next step. So if I'm here, let's say I'm doing a contract or I'm making a deal with someone that may be financial gain, immediately if I'm looking at them with both of my eyes, and both of my eyes will go into the center, into one, and I'm seeing like a panoramic view of the room. As I'm hearing them talk to me, it's kind of like Inception, like they're telling me in their mind what they're thinking, but that's not what their words are saying. And I can instantly make a decision if I want to deal with this person or not. Instantly.
But then that's what you want to keep up the good work. Sometimes we don't have to define our power. We just know it. These are the powers we have. And that's just the sign that it came on live. We've seen about 7 damn movies about this called the X-Men. You never heard the X-Men trying to explain, but there's a mutation in their DNA. That's the explanation. And then you would see hundreds of different X-Men with different powers. All you just explained was all of this work you're doing, which is the point to shift and change your DNA, you have a spiritual power that came online. You need to revel in this shit. Don't even waste your time asking what it is. You know what it is. You've seen X-Men. You know what it is. Your shit is online. If you're explaining it, and not only are you explaining, you're saying, I can instantly know whether to fuck with niggas. I can make decisions based upon I know. Shit, that's a happy day. I wouldn't even be wasting my time on this motherfucking call. I'll be walking around the planet just fucking using my fucking magneto on motherfuckers. So that's the key. So what's happening doesn't even need to be explained more than your spirituality is coming online. You get what I'm saying? That's a part of the intellect that we need to kind of answer what we know. And that's what we got to throw away. Stop relying on intellect when the shit is actually happening. You know what I'm saying? That's like me having sex with you, then coming home and saying, Brother Panic, what just happened? But you did it already. You get what I'm saying? Did you enjoy yourself? Well, I enjoyed myself. Well, what happened? Well, I had an orgasm. It's not like I even have to say I don't know what happened. I had an orgasm. Well, that's the point. That's why we all here. For something to come online more than your normal 5 senses. That's it. That's what we're talking about here. There's no need to explain it in terms of what it is. We know what it is. We know it's in us. So I appreciate your stories to prove to people who haven't gotten to that level that it happens. This is happening. It's happening to more. That should have been the goddamn statement instead of the CERN thing, because that actually is old news. They turned that shit on in 2009. Like, I didn't even know this was a subject again, the Collider. The shit, I actually had a show Tuesday, and they asked me about it, it came on Wednesday. I'm like, ain't nothing going to happen. They been turned that shit on. They been told y'all they turned that shit on, and it failed. Or they told you it failed. The Collider is in Switzerland, and they showed it in 2 movies since then. One was G.I. Joe in the second movie. They was talking about the Collider that was in Switzerland. And in Terminator 3, when she was running around and then they turned on that Collider and the magnet sucked her to that machine when she was running around that circle.
Okay.
That's it. That's the same thing. Bobby was talking about the Collider, the Super Collider, when they turned it on Switzerland. They turned it on 999. What it does is smashes atoms so fast to create a black hole. Wow. But now I'm sitting there saying, well, I don't get it. I didn't even know niggas was even talking. I don't even tune into that silly shit that niggas with their misinformed ass. They just see what it is because they spend so much money. They have to tell you that they're turning it on this random date. Then they could tell you some shit happened, so it justifies them making money. But they've been failed. Either 2 things could happen. They could open the black hole, we all destroy, we come off. They could call something here. It's going to be our niggas. Whatever they do is going to be in our favor. So even if it was something they was turning on, I couldn't wait till they do it. And all of that shit to say, this is old news. They've been turned that shit on. They had it since 2009 is when they finished building that shit, and they turned it on the 999 gateway. That was the big thing then. Look that up. It was already done. This is old hat. They started telling people they didn't do anything. So that would be more the question. The other thing you said is a statement, and that's a statement that black folks need to hear. It ain't just Panic or Bobby or whoever sitting in front of you could do it. We're only bearing witness to what you can do or greater. So when you say that, ain't no reason to ask me what that is. You know what it is. That's your God force powers coming online. So you need to do more of what you're doing or add more to see how far you can go. You can do anything I can do, but greater. That being said, keep going, do more. See how far you can go with that. You know what I'm saying? Try to destroy shit that's bothering, black folks.
Yep.
Whatever. So I would say that's excellent. You know what I'm saying? Keep up the good work. That's my answer to that. Keep up the good work. But really, whatever you're doing, your powers are coming back. Usually the powers that you had or were into the most start to come back online when you start doing the practices. So you'll notice that's why when people smoke my herb pack, different things happen in the pineal gland because of different people have different, again, for lack of a better word, gifts, because they're not gifts. These are who you are. If you move your hand to scratch your ass, we wouldn't say scratching your ass is a gift. It's just what humans do. So I would have to say what you're doing technically ain't a gift, but since we ain't did it for so long, if you had an itch on your ass you couldn't scratch, and after 5 years you scratch it, then that would be a gift. You get what I'm saying? So it's the same concept. We calling it gifts now for lack of a better word. So these things usually come online for different people, and different things happen because everyone's here to do a different type of work, just like the X-Men. So everyone didn't have the same mutation, but when they had the mutation, different powers come online. So you are changing your DNA, which is what we are doing. Mental alchemy changes your DNA.
Wow. I'm the person with the Edgar Casey thing. Like what I've been doing.
You emailed me that?
Yes.
You emailed me something about Edgar Casey, and I was telling you it was real because what was it? I remember.
It was like a liquid. It was like your queen used it for like mouthwash or something like that.
Yeah, the glycol shit.
Yes.
Right.
Yes. But
glycol
what I would,
shit. Right. And you told me about it. Right. And I was saying that's odd because she said her grandmother used it. Her grandmother was in the Edgar Casey movement, whatever that was back then, and that was an Edgar Casey thing. Correct.
It's very strange.
I remember.
What I would do is like I'll get up in the morning and I'll say I want to make this person call me today, or I want to make somebody text me, and all day. And I'm telling you, it works like clockwork. The person will text or they'll call me. I'm talking anybody, anyone I can remember. I can get this to happen. So I woke up.
We do.
And
that's what we're supposed to be doing. This is our shit. Excellent.
Man, I was doing this thing where I was drinking milk, but the milk would like make me sick. It would make me have this nasty taste in my mouth. And so I'm like, gosh, I'm supposed to be drinking this milk, but getting the whole organic milk, better food, all that. And that food shit really works. The organic food, that right there, that shit really turns on your powers 100%. I don't care if y'all can get some organic
let me say this.
food.
It doesn't really turn on your powers. What it does is it doesn't interrupt your powers.
Yes.
Eat the
Perfect.
other food that's your body is doing so much to get rid of it that it's using energy because you're poisoning yourself.
Correct.
So with lack of poisoning in your system, which is you eating organic or their idea of organic, you feel the energy more. But that's actually at a menial level because that's one of the things Bobby was talking about, that you can go beyond where food influences. So in other words, if you build up enough energy, you'll have enough energy to get rid of the poisons as much as the human body can do. I mean, the human body is going to fall apart anyway. But basically, you'll get to a level where that won't be a factor. Because there's a bunch of motherfuckers who eat organic shit and nothing spiritual is happening.
So do you think that maybe it's some kind of time-space continuum where you're put on this planet with this body for a certain amount of time, and like similar to Lucy, remember when she started to dissolve? Let's say time is moving so fast. If you don't get the information that you need to, I guess, catapult your soul to the next realm, the body is basically disappearing. So before you age or before you get sick, the cellular structure is really breaking down. And so you have to, I guess, try to advance or do whatever it is you're put here to do before, you get hit by a train or the shit breaks down, whichever one.
Oh, well, no, because there's no such thing as before you get hit by a train. There's no such thing as an accident. It's cause and effect. So if you get hit by the train, that's your time and what you deem to happen. So you either did what you came to do, and most people have devolved to not being able to do what they came to do. In our evolutionary state, we were at a place where we all knew our purpose coming down here. And then later days, there became systems for knowing your purpose. Like in Ifa, they would read your Ori. You no longer understood your purpose, so they had a shaman tell you, you're a daughter of Oshun and you can't eat that and this is what you came to do. I had a nigga read my aura and told me while I was trying to be in IT, you came to planet Earth to teach. You came from the higher realms. You didn't want to come here, but someone convinced you to come here. And my answer to him was like, what in the fuck you talking about? I came here to do IT, motherfucker. You mean I'm going to be a teacher in IT? He's like, you came to planet Earth to teach. And first it's going to start with your writing. And voila. You know what I'm saying? Now, so with Lucy, that was an agenda movie. I wouldn't buy too much into that. I did a whole breakdown on it. But what they were really trying to set up the subconscious mind is the white woman is the one that set up the seed of humanity through monkeys. Lucy, that they actually found, is a black woman.
Yeah.
And we never went through that evolutionary process. That's their evolutionary path. So in time and space, those are still a part of the illusions. And that's still in cellular breakdown is a part of the fall. We used to know how to regenerate cells. Cells still regenerate. Your liver regenerates whatever it is every 6 months or some shit like that. So your cells do repair themselves, but your cells have memory because we now think we're supposed to get old and die, and we subscribe to time. When your cells regenerate, they regenerate with the same memory of a decaying cell. We used to know how to regenerate the cells into new cells. We do it all the time. Now we do it physically through exercising. And now white people and now black people try to do it physically through plastic surgery. But we used to know how to regenerate your cells through color. Now they degrade, and when they come back, degraded. So all your cells, your skin, you wash off dead skin cells constantly and regenerate new ones. So the concepts that you're holding on to is like later day concepts of when we were in the fall, and you're trying to do that. You got to understand what we were before, and that will give you a clear goal to what you should be working on now and the constant understanding of it. Now, me, I don't really want to regenerate cells because I don't want to be here because understand the deeper concept. I'm ready to leave the circle of space and time altogether. Time is a part of the material world, the matrix, and in fact, it's actually the fourth dimension, according to Einstein. So he actually put time, gravity, whatever I can't remember what he called it, but he's the one who added time, which is mc=². So relativity, that speed in transcending past, present, and future is only conducive to time or relative to time, which is true, which you've seen in the movie Interstellar. He said a week. He said an hour on this planet is over whatever a year on our planet, because what he was talking about was actually Einstein's relativity. We measure time relative to our sun. So our sun spinning around at a certain 24 hours and 365 days a year. We say, well, we only got 70 years, then we're old people. But you spend an hour on this planet, and that's a year to us, and that's real. So what is time? That tells you that alone, if this concept, you could be in another realm under a different sun. But see, we can't travel that far to have that experience because we could only travel within our solar system, which still dictates time. But the time, Mercury revolves around the sun. Mercury's year is different from Earth's year. So all of this is telling you what we define as time is only relative, the law of relativity, to our sun and speed. And speed is talking about space. How do you get to one pace to another, space and time? So all of that is a part of the illusion of your humanity. So to factor in your spirituality, and I told you earlier, your spirit is outside what they call the circles of time. It lives longer. That's why in the astral world, if you're still remembered, Abraham Lincoln can live longer, as I pointed out, based upon us keep fortifying his spirit with our memory and our emotions. So he could live as long as the astral world exists. So understanding this concept, and Bobby understanding this concept, that's why Bobby Hemming used to talk about all this shit must go, because this system will stand up as long as time stands up. We'll still be in the circles of time because our spirit can last longer, and in our soul, sometimes this is down here, can regurgitate into another body, reincarnate into another body. So the object is getting out of the circles of time. How do you get out the circles of time? Two circles smashed together make the vesica of Pisces. That's another way of saying how to get out of one circle and go to another circle. And that's Spice energy. That's through the vagina. That's through the vagina, the vesica Pisces, but a vagina with a clit in the middle. So that's how you travel through different realms of time.
Oh, my gosh. Okay, so it just happened again, right when I was on the phone with you. Okay, it just happened. I'm going to explain this to you, then I'm going to go. I know there are other callers. Okay, it just happened, okay? So as I've been astral traveling, every night before I go to bed, I try to astral travel. I lay in the bed. I don't do nothing too fancy, take my little shower and go in. When I go in, I wake up and I'm in a blank room. The room is all white and it's small. And I'm in the room and I know I'm up, I'm awake, and I'm like, damn, what am I supposed to do in this room? Okay, when you just said just now that Bobby said everything must go, I'm trying to recreate here, there, and that's not what I'm supposed to do. So that's why nothing can happen. It's supposed to turn into something else. I'm trying to, in this room, in my mind, which is really my reality, what I have done is I've taken this reality over there when I'm supposed to be leaving here. You understand what I'm saying? So it's
I know what you're saying, but listen, you got to look at the symbology. What if you was, and you could compare it because your subconscious mind is trying to tell you what's in real life, and you are definitely on it. But I want to see if you can get this last element. If you woke up in real life in a blank room, what would you do next?
If I woke up in, wow, that was beautiful.
Life,
my heart's beating.
Blank room, what would you do next?
I would try to regain some kind of consciousness, or else I would freak out.
No. Listen closely.
Okay.
We're not going to make this deep.
Okay.
In real life,
okay.
If you walked into a blank room that is yours, what would you do next?
I'll start putting shit in there.
There you go. Start putting shit in there. Why you keep waking up in this blank room is because you don't know how to fill it yet. It's not about the earth realm. Because you tapped out of the earth realm, that's why nothing is in there. You need to start knowing what your next step to fill it with. So, see,
wow.
and when you ask this question, what does this mean? When you first ask the question, to me, that's another way of saying, I don't know what to do next, even though I'm now able to use my spiritual power. To me, that's a question like, what the fuck? You shouldn't even be on this phone. You should be walking around the planet getting busy because you don't have in your heart yet what I should do next for me, not what I'm going to say to you. So you're getting to a room where I would say you did get past a certain amount of humanity in your thinking, and I can hear you have because you're trying stuff. And you've gotten to a point where you have now a blank canvas.
Mm-hmm.
You need to realize, and as you said, which I said, it is correct, you don't have to fill it up with humanity's things, but you need to fill it up with what you feel you're going to become. Because that blank canvas is the blank heaven that you possibly could go to. Or you can look at it this way. If you have a lacking in your life, let's say you have a fucked up car, it's okay to fill it with a car or because you're going to need these things to maintain your humanity while you're down here to survive. So that's fine.
You're
but
right.
understand, when you're in a blank canvas, your subconscious mind is saying, give me something to do.
You're right, because last night when everybody was watching Empire, and I went out on the balcony and I sat up to the moon, and I did a meditation with my eyes open. What I saw was like the moon was like the light, like it was looking like the belly button, and the whole sky was a womb, and it was a baby in there. And I saw the embryo in there. And when I came in and I was going to bed and I did the meditation, then I was being born through myself. I was delivering myself.
That's everything you're trying to do. Birth and rebirth. There was a time I contacted Phyllis Hyman. I could tell you probably an hour story what she put me on to. Any tall woman, fuck with Phyllis Hyman. That's your paintric mother. You even listen to her music. She did Sophisticated Ladies. Sophisticated Ladies was Sophia. She came through talking about she's the piece of Sophia, which is the great mother in Gnosticism. She did a shit, I Am Goddess. It was almost crazy when I was looking at her titles. Everything was
Riding the Tiger. Remember Riding the Tiger?
Yeah. All right, which is Durga and all that shit. Now, Bobby had a crush on her, so when she came through, gave me a little leg. We knocked the boots, and then she gave me all this information. You know, this nigga got up to lecture. This nigga here, you know what I'm saying? I said, well, this should get you some pussy, Bobby. I said, so let's get with it. So we did, we did the thing. Sure enough, she came through. And when she came through, some lady called Bobby crying, who he knew. Oh, I dreamed you were dying and they were killing you. And, oh, Bobby. And he's frustrated trying to get out of it. What did you see in the dream? So he hit me up like this. I said, I'm going to see what's up right now. Went into the meditation. I was like, no. What she seen was a part of your ego at Phyllis Hyman. And because you wouldn't have fell for that okie doke, the energy went to people who would. So she said, so he was like, okay, I'm good now. Because there's times there's been Nubian poison scandals and all sorts of shit. I mean, it's way that I'm like, yo, don't eat this. He said, like, there's a whole. I had a whole vision. I was on the train, and I looked in the next car, and somebody had poisoned Bobby. So I said I had to go over there. So I walked through the next train. I could literally feel myself going through a whole fucking dimension. It was to another dimension. It was crazy. So some lady was over him crying and said those people gave him some food. So I'm like, don't worry. I said, stop crying. There's no death here. So he's not going to die. We just need to do something to get his spirit back. So I bent over and said, Bobby, come back. Of course, he woke up. I said, all right, we're going to deal with those people over there. And I went back. I said, oh, whoa. So then I remember he told me at the time he was going to go to lecture. I'm like, yo, you going to lecture? I said, don't fucking eat nothing at that fucking lecture them people's cook. He said, I've been going to them for years. I said, well, don't eat nothing from the stores. Do not eat nothing. And I told him when I seen. He said, these motherfucking Nuwabians kept begging to come over here to make me a meal today. He said their tire broke, all sorts of shit. They couldn't get here. I said, yeah, nigga, that was my ass on the train system. So, like, you know, Bobby ain't gonna admit it. So he was like, yeah, the guards were protecting me. I was like, nah, motherfucker, I got you on this one, nigga. You ain't gonna get past this shit. So then he was like, but he said it at the end. All right, man. So, all right, man. Thanks, man. You know, so I'm gonna hit you later. So I was like, yeah, he did give me my thanks on that one. But ultimately, so we've seen all of these conspiracy theories and all this shit. So we take dreams a little bit more seriously. Mm-hmm. She's calling him hysterical. He's just trying to get to the bottom of it more than really getting scared. So she's got him, you know, like, what's going on? So, you know, my whole shit was challenged. That's all I got in this for. We got it. Phyllis said she killed him off. So you got to just know the symbols. That's why I told you, like I said, I teach it in my class, the symbology. So you wake up in a blank room, that's a blank canvas. And the way you measure that symbol is like, what would you do in real life? Because your subconscious mind is trying to relate what you would do in humanity so you could do the work. So it's trying to speak it to you in its language, a symbol that tells 1,000 words. So what does a symbol of a blank room do? I lived in my house and I was in an all-white room with nothing in it. What am I going to do? I'm going to paint it first, number one, or to fill it with furniture. So it's saying whatever was you figured out while you're in this blank room, what's your next step? All you have to rationalize is what you would do in real life. And what you would do in real life is put a bed in it or put a chair in it. Is it a TV room? Is it a rec room? Is it a bedroom? What is it? So it's really your mind is trying to tell you you're at your next step.
Yes. You're
at your next step. And what I hear from you, you're going to have to really get the understanding between humanity and spirituality. Your next step in spirituality is beyond humanity. So what needs to go in that room, which you have said yourself, your mind can only wonder. If I had to put shit in that room, first we starting with at least 17 naked girls in doggy's position. We're going to start there. And things that you're not going to have here. You know what I'm saying? And even those things, even in the spirit world, are still symbols of pleasure because I understand to be pleasure in my humanity. In the spirit world, it may not be as so. It's actually a low form of thinking because if you ask a dog what's his idea of heaven, he's going to say 17 asses that I could sniff all night. You ask a monkey, he's going to say, let me get a big red ass, you know what I'm saying? Big red monkey ass. That's all I need, son.
It's true. It's like somebody's trying
red
to tell
monkey
me
ass.
This is divine.
And to us, that wouldn't even be it. The dog would say, all the alpo I could eat. So a dog's idea of heaven is not that hot. But who says a human idea of heaven is hot? You know, pussy, you know, chronic, or you know what I'm saying? That all the shit that we could fathom here. So I understand those to be symbols because I'm still dealing with symbols here. But don't expect to get to heaven and there'll be money and bitches and hoes. You know what I'm saying? Ain't as above, so below. But that same orgasm may take on a new understanding. Because when you became human, the orgasm took on a new understanding as something that comes out your penis or your vagina. So that it returns to its form. So the 17 naked girls are just symbolic of that understanding of pleasure at my will in them doggy style that under my control. Which these aren't people; these are aspects of my own mind. So it doesn't. So some people, oh no, you got all these hoes at your bidding. Well, it's not hoes. It's your blank room.
It's my pleasure.
And you're there to fill it. There was a movie where. Okay. Close to it, there was a TV show. Oh, what the fuck was the name of this? It was a good TV show. It only lasted for one season. This old hotel, the dude, he had the key or something to get in this room. And all of these magic, there was all the items in the room were magical. So he would put the items in the room, and when he would go in the room, he would be outside the circle of time. It was like 4 rooms or something. Crazy. The dude, it was well, I'll find it for the next time. One of the best shows I've seen. He was able to go out the circles of time in this room, and anything goes in this room. So you're in this room. I would now, not just my dreams, all my meditations, I would go into a white room and then pull whatever I need for that time. That would be my core meditation because the way. So every time I need something, and I'm going to get you the name of this show. You know what I'm saying? Let me see if I can see it real quick.
Please. Because
I
I've been using Mork and Mindy. It came up, Robin Williams came to me, and I started watching Mork and Mindy. And when I started watching Mork and Mindy, and he would go in, and I was like, they've been trying to tell us this shit forever. And I started going in, and then it started telling me, like, when I can meditate, walk and talk, and I'm just in there. And it clarified everything for me. And it would tell me, like, you're no longer a teacher. Stop trying to help people. Stop trying to tell people what the hell they need to be doing. You need to keep all your energy for yourself. And so now I know that I can see these people a mile away when they come in. And really they just want to talk or they want information or whatever. But something is telling me it's a greater thing coming for you. Leave all these other people to whatever their next level is going to be. They're not ready anyway.
You're going on to the next level in your DNA. And, all black people want to teach other black people. That's why we were talking about earlier. I'm here for the people, and something in my mind tell me. But the true teacher, and I know that's why Bobby stuck to me, I never wanted to teach. I first started teaching because they knew I had the ability to explain shit. And I said, fuck all that shit. I'm going to learn. I don't care about teaching black folks who ain't learning anyway, It's the same thing. So Bobby kept saying, you need to do these blog talks. I don't want to do it. You need to. Like one time I said, oh, you're on blog talk? I'm going to listen. I didn't know you could listen. I didn't know what it was. So I see, I'm on the phone. So I'm typing shit. He's getting questions. I'm typing shit to trip him up. What's pinealine? Because I knew you didn't know that one. I never heard of that one. And then he said, pineal, he gave his answer. He said, Panic asked that. So you knew I was fucking with him. He said, I got to charge my phone. Y'all talk to Panic. Hello? Oh, yeah, I'm here. Yeah, I can hear you. Can you hear me? Well, I can hear you. Let me ask you this. I'm like, what the fuck is this? Nigga waited for a long time. So he fucked with me again. He's always telling me to teach. So that's something you have to have a calling for. So what I'm hearing is it's your ego saying, stop trying to help black people and you need to go as far as you can yourself. If you're slated to teach, real teachers have to go through the experience and share experience with them. You know what I'm saying? Have to have some do-it-yourself. And if you have to do it yourself, then the student peers, and the people who see whatever you got going on, that's when you're going to teach. The name of the show is called The Lost Room.
The Lost Room. Okay, perfect.
Get that. It's on Amazon. The Lost Room. They only did one season. Y'all need to watch that shit. The objects from the room. Certain people got the objects. He had to retrieve all the objects. Now, he would go outside the circle of time in this motherfucking room. It was off the fucking hook. No one could get in this fucking room but him because he had the master key. Crazy in the way the story went. Straight occult shit. The Lost Room. And it's the same thing. In your meditations, you need to go into this lost room. Once you watch that shit, anything you want to materialize here, you put it in that room.
Oh, beautiful. Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you much for doing the work.
No problem.
I appreciate it. All right. Good night, everyone. Thank you so much.
All right.
All right. Bye-bye.
All right.
Yeah, and before we take the next call real quick, I know in the beginning of the call she mentioned the hydrogen colliders, the CERN. They tried that shit again in March of this year, and they failed. They trying to recreate the Big Bang and all this shit and open stargates, and they failing miserably at it. So yeah, I mean that's
they can't even if they do it, okay. You know what I'm saying? All they do is you're gonna find a bunch of niggas on there eating Chinese foods, burning cocoa mango.
Exactly. So, yeah.
Same old niggas, same old G's.
Exactly.
Same old black on black crime. You know what I'm saying? Same niggas don't want to work. You know what I'm saying? Same niggas, grass ain't cut in their yard. You know what I mean? Same old G's. Let them do whatever all they're really trying to do, and I went through this whole thing last Tuesday on the show. All they really trying, and all this is going to be on my YouTube page, of course. All they really trying to do is figure this shit out, what we already do, what already exists inside of us.
Exactly.
I talked about it. The collider is nothing but the ring of Saturn, and the ring of Saturn comes on your pineal when you're illuminated.
Right.
So Saturn is connected to the pineal gland, and that ring that spins fast and the electron is nothing but what's supposed to happen around your pineal gland when you're illuminated. You're just making a big-ass pineal. Your pineal is the black hole.
Correct.
Yeah.
Correct. So they're trying to study these sciences. Yep. All right, let's see if we go to our next caller. I believe we got somebody on the phone from East Virginia. East Virginia, you're on the call. Are you there?
Hello?
Yes, you're on the call. You got a question or a comment?
Just want to say thanks for the information.
All right, East Virginia, you got it.
No problem.
All right.
Appreciate it.
Take care.
Thank you. Thanks for the call. All right, we got I don't know if these are your people, Pam. We got a lot of people on the call from North Georgia, but ain't nobody talking, man.
I know niggas in New York, North Georgia, shit. They my people. They need to come around here and help me with shit.
Well, I just thought maybe because they were.
Need to come around and help a nigga because I can't drive yet. You know what I'm saying?
All right, here we go.
Y'all need to ask some fucking questions. And y'all need to come around this motherfucker and help me with shit. Get me in the Walmart.
Yep. All right, let's go to
Hello?
Yes. Is this North Georgia? You on the call?
Yes, hello?
Yes, hello, North Georgia. You're on the call. If you got a question or a comment for Brother Panic, go ahead.
Okay, hi, Brother Panic.
Hey.
I have a question. My sister recently passed back here April this year, and my question is, I had a dream about her recently, and it was kind of like I know I was asleep, but it seemed like I was, we had a conversation, even though I only remember that short period of time in the dream. Could you tell me, what does that mean?
Well, that's exactly what we've been talking about all night. That's exactly what I did with Mandela. What I've been trying to tell you is I know how to do that anytime I want. What black people have been doing that sporadically, meaning she helped you, in this case, this usually happens with their ancestors and family. She helped you bring some of your consciousness, your awareness into the dream world. That's why you felt like you were awake, because you were conscious in it. Usually what happens is your consciousness stays in your body and is passed out. But it feels like you're halfway awake in a zone. That's when most black people feel their dreams are different, because their consciousness is with them. So usually the ancestors or relatives who have something to say, who are tired of your black ass, who can't do what is supposed to be natural to you, they'll help you with on a certain day, when a certain moon is right, when there's a certain energy, you'll have this lucid dream. So you had what they call a lucid dream. What we've been talking about, what I've been talking about in that book, Astral Dynamics, is how to do this at will. Not only how to do this at will, how to go wherever you go. You don't have to wait for your dead relative or your grandmother to show up randomly to tell you something. You can go see her every night or any night that you desire.
And see, that's been happening to me since I was a child, really. And I really I said that's been happening to me since I was a child, really. I've never really been able to understand it. It's just certain.
Okay, the understanding is called astral traveling. So as I pointed out earlier, people have different, lack of a better words, gifts or things that were left over. It's up to you to now take that gift, things that have been happening to you since you was little, which is another black national anthem. I always happy to be Pam. I was always happy, but no one understands it. To me, that's the crying shame. So if you read and understand astral traveling and lucid dreaming with these 2 and 3 simple books that I gave you tonight, you'll understand concepts, what it means, what it's doing, and then it'll put you in a position to do it actively. instead of passively. And when you do it actively, you can then go in and ask these same people for answers that you may need to help you. That's what black people talk about when they talk to the ancestors, that they can petition them or ask them directly things they need, because these ancestors have been on earth and have this understanding, and they also now have that bird's eye view, past, present, future. So they can recommend and tell you things, not because they're smarter per se, but because they can see further, deeper, and before you can see it. So you need or should need, or is the smartest thing in your interest, or it behooves you to be able to ask them, what about this job? What about this person? What about the kids? All the day-to-day things that you need. You deal with deities to do the spiritual alchemy. You do it with ancestors for your day-to-day needs. Now, with that being said, while it's happening to you, now it's your responsibility to understand and control it.
Now I have another question. Could you also apply that with finding out, because I just recently started listening to some of your classes, because with like I say, a lot of stuff going on in my life I didn't really understand, and like certain people I used to go to, they, if they weren't, Christianized, they were basically, you don't, it don't make no sense, and I end up, by myself, stuck. And so I was wondering, could you apply that also with finding out who your universal parents are and your bloodline? You a star seed?
I don't know what a universal parent is. I never heard of that.
Yeah, I meant like a star seed.
These are white terms that they're just using to make up systems that don't exist. So, I never heard of starseed parents. They'll tell you in the Bible, God brought himself into existence. We bring ourselves into existence. The DNA of bloodlines and family is all earthly, and that starts from a spiritual alchemy. So basically, if I did all the spiritual work, the whole idea is my son is going to have in his seed or benefit from the spiritual work I did. He still may be a dumbass, but what's in him when he decides to do work will be easier for him. So he'll have gifts. If he uses those gifts is another story, because he may have a path to be a fucking stripper or a path to be a goddamn nigga that hangs around fucking truck stops. And that's what he came to do. But the idea is in my DNA or in my bloodline based upon work that Hispanic did. So here on Earth, you got Moorish bloodlines, this and that. In fact, what's her name? Spiritually, the girl who I was talking about, Courtney, who came and taught me the yoga, there's a Moorish bloodline. She said it, and I heard it before. A Marici or something like that, which is a known Moorish bloodline. Powerful. She said she used to always be fond of those stories. And I can't remember what she said. She taught me so much today with yoga, but basically she got confirmation through the spirit world that this was her bloodline. Oh, okay, I know what she told me. She said she started having a dream of St. Christopher. St. Christopher is from the Marici bloodline. She did research on St. Christopher, who's the patron saint of arts and artistry and something else, which she is a artist. She is a writer. And so she understood she had to harness that saint power for that, which we don't really fuck with the saints like that, even though technically we could, because the saints came through. I never really shared that with black people, and we could actually use saints. Now, because we deified them by kissing their ass, now they actually got power. So,
and that go back to I was reading something with the slave when we came over here, and we were forced to to take on all the white man practices and all the stuff that he do and everything. And so,
hold on, before we go there. So she found out he was the same birthday, and the day he died was her mother's death. And his bloodline is this Moorish bloodline. So those type of spiritual samples, to answer your question, is how she was able to find out her old bloodline. All of that star seed and all that shit, that's that Sylvia Brown New Age bullshit. And they have to tell white people this because white people have no origin in the cosmos. Their origin is going to come through us. Their transformation is going to come through us. They have to first become niggas before they can actually join this cosmic consciousness. They're thinking outside the circle of time, which is the next thing you say. The practice of them teaching us to be a slave is in a book called Willie Lynch, The Making of a Slave, and they clearly say, how do you basically make an African into a Negro? Basically, they're saying, how do you make a god into a human? So these things also change the DNA. So all of these concepts of star seeds and all that's earthly things. To purify the DNA is all the spiritual work we've been talking about tonight. You are your own star seed. You are your own parent. Your spirit guide and spirit guardian and all that shit they talk about is called your Ka. It's called your melanin. It's actually called your doppelganger or your spirit you. So you're trying to contact your parent, which is your higher self. Your star seed is your soul. Simple as that. Understood?
Mm-hmm. Got it. Thank you.
All right. Hope that answers.
So you got to find, it's you that you're finding. You have to study and understand you. Stay out of the new age, anything that says new age, Sylvia Brown, people that you see on TV, throw it away. They're on fucking TV.
So what if they say, like, how they say you're connected to the goddess Hathor, or, different gods and goddesses?
Two things.
Like
you
that.
should get to a point where you can answer that question and no man or woman has to tell you that. And if someone does tell you that, make sure it's someone that you really trust, that you know has no agenda to control you. Number one. And you are connected to that. We're all connected to that. But what they're talking about is energy. Hathor is not a person. She doesn't have a bloodline. It's a deity, which means it's an energy. So you have sexual energy, they're going to say Heteru. You have mother energy, they're going to say Hathor. You have warrior energy, they're going to say you're connected to Shango. You understand? You always come up with a business idea, you're connected to Ogun because you're only manifesting an energy that's defined. So the deal with the deity is to deal with the spiritual aspect in a methodology for enhancing that energy, empowering that energy, or living that energy. So when they're saying that, they're talking about energy. They're talking about bloodlines. Bloodlines are family and earth shit, royalty, started from us, heroic lines and all of that based upon the original motherfucking netures and all the rest of that. And all that trickles down into more and more humanity or less of humanity or people with the ability to suppress their humanity easier than the next guy. So that's why, understanding that concept, there's got to be some people who say, I'm going to light a candle and get $1 million. It ain't got nothing to do with them being dense. What's in them after all of these years in the DNA is not like yours. I had to learn that from Bobby. I told this motherfucker that they did that, this motherfucker did that, this. Well, I said it plain as day. Then he had to explain to me because you're someone who did it already. A lot of these people haven't done it already. This is new to them, and it's complex. The patience is the key. So a person who's saying that, they're not on my level because I teach on the level of people who've been here before, been through this before. So because you're having these spiritual things, even though you don't fully understand it, that's still an indication to me that you have been through it before. That's why it's still emerging, and that's why it's something that's happening all your life because that's your subconscious mind trying to remind you of where you should go in your first step. So your first step is understanding astral traveling, understanding in the sporadic dreams that you felt. That was the first thing you had to tell me, which means it's something that's powerful for you. The first thing you have to do is try to get that power under control and then see where that power leads you to the next challenge for you. So start where you're at, in other words.
Thank you.
No problem. Don't get wrapped up in these names. That's another trick. Star Seed and Diamond Child and Rainbow Child. Every goddamn black person I call it. My son, Jamarcus, well, he's a rainbow child. Every dumb black kid is a rainbow child. I remember there's a girl I know. She named her son Asar. And I'm on the phone with her. Hey, Asar, get out the toilet. Stop playing in the toilet, Asar. Like, that don't add up. That don't do that. You know what I'm saying? You're giving your son a lot to live up to. A star, stop picking in your nose, a star. Like, you just fucked that up for me. You know what I'm saying? So you gonna hear all these fucking fancy names. Don't buy into it. Start with what you feel got you here, which is you've been having these dreams all your life. You're lucky because you have a big clue. You start and you master that's called astral traveling and lucid dreaming. You master that shit till you can't, till the wheels fall off, because that's what you are reminding yourself of spiritually, which means your whole soul is telling you, let's get that on first. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah, because it's not just dream. I've had, because I used to, when I was like 8, 9 years old, I used to see, and it would only mess with me when I go in the bathroom. And then, I would start seeing like different shades or shapes.
You get the understand, whatever it is. If somebody comes and tickle your butt every night, then go research butt feathers. Do whatever it is that's coming to you, because if it's happening in your spirit, that means it's something that's left over that didn't get drowned or hidden in humanity, when so many of us have our powers hidden deeper. So if it's not happening, it's not deep. See, none of that matters if you can't make that work for you. That's what the whole movie Sixth Sense was about. This little boy scared, running around, people, some are bad, some are hiding in tents. And then after the whole Bruce Willis incident, the whole point was he showed him he was empowered now, in control of his spirits. When Bruce Willis said, maybe these people are asking for help. And then once he helped that little girl in the movie Sixth Sense and helped Bruce Willis, and finally told Bruce Willis, guess what, motherfucker, you dead. And then it was like, oh, boom, bam, surprise. And then for the rest of the movie, this nigga was empowered because he now understood why these spirits were coming to him. So they could be coming to you all your life, and black people tend to put that on as a badge of honor. But you ain't nothing but the sixth fucking sense until you understand how to control and how, if they coming to you, what the fuck you want, nigga. I get all these emails. My daughter sees all these spirits. My daughter sees all of this, and we don't know what to do and panic. Is there a herb pack for that? I'm like, well, did you ever tell your daughter, ask them what they want? Oh, my God, Patty, my whole life has changed. I'm like, yeah, just ask them. We're trained from movies to think it's either a bad thing or we're not supposed to understand this world. So you start wherever it is. If all this is happening to you, you're another one. You shouldn't even be on this phone. You should be in your bathroom right now conjuring the motherfuckers up. All you need is the understanding in the book. I got plenty of book list shows that I explain a synopsis of every book for whatever you need. You need the book Cyclomancy. That'll start exercising some of those spiritual centers to make them more powerful in control of what comes to you, when and how you see it. So it's just a matter of building up energy.
Okay.
All right. All right, sister. Appreciate that call. Thank you. All right. Brother Panic, if I could, before I run out of time, I got my oldest son here. Just wanted to, I'm going to ask you a question for him. He's actually listening. He's 22.
Okay.
This was 2 weeks ago. I mean, I gave him my take on it, but sometimes, they need to hear it from somebody else.
All right, yeah. Because believe me, my son would listen to y'all quicker than he would listen to my ass.
Well, yeah, that's why I'm asking.
Right.
I was like 2 weeks ago, I left the house. I went out for a little bit. I came back in, and when I walked back in, he had just woke up off the couch. He just woke up out of sleep. And he told me, and he took him about a minute to get himself together, and then he told me that once he realized that he woke up, he said he had a dream where he saw me sitting on the couch, saw me at the computer, saw me sitting at the dining room table where I'm doing the show from right now, and in the kitchen at the same time. So he saw it simultaneously at the same time at one shot. So he's trying to stumped on figuring it out, trying to figure out what that could possibly symbolize. And I told him it definitely symbolizes something. But he's trying to figure out why was he seeing me in every aspect of the house simultaneously. So I don't know if you can maybe what you think that might symbolize. Maybe give him some guidance.
It's only that really is conducive on how he sees you as a father and as a force in his life.
Exactly.
If he's seen you doing all these work things, he must see you as, what a father's supposed to be doing. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Controlling the house. He sees you everywhere in the house. I'm saying a lot of us see our fathers as a certain aspect. You know what I'm saying? He's only home at this time. He only does that with me. You know what I'm saying? He only gets excited if I do they just have these daddy issues. Right. So, my guess would be, and I can't guess what's in his mind, but my guess would be he's seeing you work in different aspects of the house at the same time. He sees you everywhere. He sees you around him. You're his dad, so he must respect you. You know what I'm saying? Right. And his subconscious mind is saying every aspect you got him covered, because your father has to mean a lot to you. Even to my stepsons, I have to be a friend. I have to be a listener. I have to be compassionate to their little boyish. I've done that before, and I should have told your ass a while. I have to be their protector. I have to make them feel. I have to be their role model. I have to make them feel safe. I have to make them feel like I'm intelligent. I have to make them feel like I have an answer all the time. I have to make them feel that they will never starve. I have to make them feel that they'll always have a home to go to. I have to make them feel that their ass will be in trouble if they're not doing what they need to do in terms of studying or these niggas looking for a job. I have to feel they have to always have manners, respect themselves. I have to show them how I respect their mother, how they should respect women. I have to show them all the time dignity, how to hold your head up. And I'm just naming a few things.
Correct.
So when your son, my guess, and this is closer to a guess than really anything, because is really about how he really has to factor, because it's a symbol, so he has to factor in how he feels about you or what he was thinking about you or what's going on between you and him at that moment. But if I had to guess, if he's seen you in these multiple roles, and these looks like roles where he's seen you all over, you know what I'm saying? That's really saying you're fulfilling a lot for him. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
If I was him, I would say, could he observe where he didn't see you at in the house, or what he may have seen that you weren't doing, and maybe he needs to say to himself, well, he wasn't, and I'll just say guess, he wasn't washing the dishes. So what does that mean to me? You get what I'm saying?
Right.
And that could be, well, maybe he doesn't help mom in a certain kind of way. So he could share it to you, accept it, or say, because, see, you seem like someone who could handle that. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Say, well, you weren't in the kitchen doing the chores, and I noticed the kitchen was sloppy. Let's just say that. Right. And I said, I think what that means is I noticed that mom is always busting her ass sweeping, and you're never sweeping, or whatever. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And I'm only giving a bad example. And,
No, definitely. That makes sense.
It seems like that's something he could say to you. You know what I'm saying? You don't seem like, well, that's a woman's job. You know what I mean? Because, there's that type of dude. So, it's really up to him and what he observed and how, because his mind said it to him. See, for a long time, I don't do dream interpretations, because any interpretation, I can only give you a generalization, because he may feel that he wants you to rest more. Dad does too much. I need him to sit down. Because I think he's going to be a certain kind of way if he doesn't take more relaxation. You understand? So that may be on his mind that I don't know about. True. So he might be saying, Dad's doing too much. And he might say, Dad, I think you're a workaholic. You work too much.
Right.
Get it? So it's really up to him to decode. You know what I'm saying? But at the same time, you probably could help him with it because you know your son.
No, definitely. And I told him something very similar. But like I say, sometimes it just helps hearing it from, how it is with kids. It just helps hearing it, from somebody else. So correct. I appreciate that input. But I definitely told him something on the same line. All right, let's take one more call for you, and then I want you to be able to close out before they cut us off, because they got hip to us staying on late. Let's take one more call. Let's go to our hometown. I know it's your hometown, my hometown. Let's go to New York City, New York. See if we get somebody on from New York. New York City.
Yeah, niggas, New York, for real, though. Niggas had a New York accent, and I'm like, there's no such a thing until I started listening to my fucking self. You know what I'm saying? I feel what I'm saying. Check it out. You got to do that to do this. You know what I'm saying? Word up.
Yep.
Like, oh, there's some New York shit for real, though, nigga. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, oh, yeah, nigga, is right. There is a New York accent, and this shit is ignorant as all. Get the fuck out. It's all ignorant as out.
Hey, when you're on the call in New York, we can hear you. Go ahead.
I'm just listening.
All right, we appreciate you listening.
Who's this?
Queen of Sword in the house.
I knew that was you. Potter. What's up, Potter? I forgot to call you Potter last time. What's up, Potter? You just listening?
I'm enjoying the show.
I got your text today. You said you got your spot back?
Yes, man. I'm happy about that.
Well, congratulations, Potter. And
yes.
My girl pot of chicken. She's like, why the fuck you call me a pot of chicken? You look like a pot of chicken to me. You know what I'm saying? So I call her for years. Pata. What's up, Pata? She's like, motherfucker, I ain't no pot of chicken, motherfucker. She's like, I'm a vegan. I don't care you a pot of chicken. That's my girl, Queen of Swords. Everybody know her. Congratulations on your, and keep listening, Jive Turkey.
Definitely. I'm going to keep listening. One love.
All right, Pata.
All right, thanks for the call.
Oh, let me say this. Remember we had the show, because I was going to forward you this email. I'm going to show you how our shit worked. And we talked about homosexuality.
Yep.
Dude emailed me, and this dude's been emailing me for years. He did a consultation with me. He said, I don't know if you ever noticed, but I'm gay. He said, you said that, and I've heard you say similar things like that. And that story I told y'all is actually something I told Bobby, and Bobby used to relay that. And he said he heard that when I don't think he knew the story came from me. Bobby was just saying it, but not as much detail. And this nigga basically wrote a paragraph of thank you. It feels like I exist somewhere besides person. And I ain't going to lie. This shit actually brought a tear almost out my eye. Because if I'm going to have compassion, that's what I'm going to have compassion for. We are here to truly save black people, not have fucking debates about how this is destroying our community. Who gives a fuck who's sucking whatever? That ain't got nothing to do with who and what we truly are. I'm here to teach who and what we truly are. So we bypass all that bullshit. Socially, it is creepy as fuck to me. He said, I heard you say homo, gay. He said, but that's your business, which means this dude got it. He said, that's your fucking business. He said, I ain't trying to get you to be politically correct. But he said, at the same time, when you telling me I have something to go for now, I know I have a place. He said it made so much sense, these niggas stand at these gateways.
That's right.
So, and then he's basically like, that saved my life. That's why, and when I hear that shit, that's the purpose I'm here, to show black people there's more for you than this little bullshit existence and these bullshit definitions. No matter what it is you do, an axe murderer, you're going to. That's if you're enlightened. None of that shit matters, including homosexuality. Does it matter in a social situation? Yeah, it's funny style to me. Niggas loving niggas with Noxzema, it's funny style. But what does that got to do with your transformation and spirituality? Absolutely nothing. That's a fucking quote. And I know that I can back that shit up spiritually. I don't want to hear about niggas in their goddamn phobias. Because the fact that you got a phobia has really got me questioning what's your real story here. You know what I'm saying?
That's right.
Who's a fuck? I don't give a fuck what guy fucks a girl. Why I give a fuck what guy's fucking some other guy?
That's right.
Has nothing to do with what I'm getting out of this. I don't give a flying fuck. Now, don't get me wrong. I understand there's a homo agenda. But there's an agenda for everything. There's an agenda for the black woman. You know what I'm saying? She cannot be a black woman and say there's no government agenda. They just turn it into, I don't need no man, and you know, I could do it all by myself. I'm independent. That's a Willie Lynch agenda.
Right.
But the black man in the dress is not about homosexuality. It's about effeminization. It's about taking manhood and making you your bitch. And I wrote this in my book. I said, when I talked about it, I said, think about this. If I told a homo guy, I'm going to make you my bitch. He wouldn't necessarily go along with that. He would say, kill a guy. I mean, unless you're saying it in a loving way, I don't think I'm interested.
Exactly.
He would, to make him subordinate. So putting a black man in the dress is saying, I'm making you subordinate to me, my bitch, my hoe, my control. And nobody wants that. So it's not about homosexuality to put a black man in a dress. It's about taking away your manhood. So that lifestyle choice, that ain't got nothing to do with, if it's not your life, we ain't got to address that shit.
Yep.
Let them do it. Now, so, like I said, I'm not going to say his name, but the brother, and he's been around, he's probably listening tonight, and I thanked him in the email, but I want to thank him live, on the air, and say it on this show where we actually brought up the discussion in a little bit more greater detail. And, maybe I'll find it and read it, the actual email to folks. It was actually very honest, very touching, and he was very thankful. So this ain't no debate on who and what we are, no matter how we incarnate in this motherfucker. There's no debate on that, who and what we are. So let's do the true work and raise all of us up. For the people. Let's do it for the people. Raise all of us the fuck up instead of trying to say certain of us are worthy and certain of us, based upon human social behavior, ain't got it going on. That's folly.
Yep, and I'm glad you shared that. That it makes us feel good that you shared that with us. I appreciate that because, and we've said that on this show. Even before we talked about that, the same thing you're validating right now. Your sexual preference has nothing to do with anything. We couldn't give two shits. If you like tickling monkeys' balls, that's your business. And it has nothing to do with, like you say, the occult information, making the transformation, etc. So I do appreciate you sharing that, and it's a good thing to know that. To me, that's actually helping somebody, rather than be on this fake crusade to save fucking black people. Because I know that's a touchy subject, and when dealing with consciousness quota per se, you either get one of the other extremes on it, and at the end of the day, like you said, it ain't got nothing to do with anything. But hey, before they cut us off, Brother Panic, give people your information again. Let them know about your website, your classes, where you're at in your classes, because some people are typing in. Can they still get in, things of that nature. So kind of let them know what they need to do, where they at.
Be clear on this. You can always get in. If I'm in the middle of a class, it's just in the next cycle. So I'm pointing out I'm in the second week of a 4-week class cycle. They're all 4 weeks. So in 2 weeks, I'll be done. This weekend is 3, and the next weekend I'll be done. I usually take a week off, sometimes 2, to regroup, and then we start again. So as soon as you pay, you're going to be on the next boat to go. So you'll pay, and the first email you get from me is give me your phone number, because when it's class time, I'm going to call you. I give you slight Skype instructions and instructions that I need for you to be in class, and that's how we do it. I keep going. People say, can I pay in December for a class? Whenever you pay and whenever you want to take it, you're in the next cycle. Anyone around the world can take this class. My suggestion is when I'm in week 2, start paying now, because you can actually pay a down payment, wait, breathe for a while, get your money right, and come pay the half payment when it's time for class. So that's what a lot of people do. They'll pay me half to get a seat in the next cycle, and then when the next cycle comes, I make that call. I usually say, we're about to start in a week. Here's what I need from you. Here's what you got to do. You don't need to pay anything else. Skype, the free version of Skype. You don't need a camera. You don't need a mic. All you need is to have Skype and an internet connection, the free Skype. And then I'll tell them, well, time to pay your other half, then we start. So this is make it easy for black people to get in shit. You can pay the full amount, and as long as you wait for your next flow, all good money. So it's on Skype. Anyone in around the world, it usually gets full around 20 people. I don't like to go over 20 people per cycle. I'm at 20 people now for this cycle. So now we only at 2 or 3. It's always good. I'll let you know when, I'm getting at my 20, you know what I'm saying? So maybe you want to wait till next month, or maybe you want to pay and wait till next month, or just save your money and, blah, 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 blah. But no, ain't no, just get with it. Email me it, you know what I'm saying? email me what you need. Again, my herb packs. I know y'all know what an herb pack is, but let me just go through it. All natural herbs, all organic, no drugs. It is medicine for your pineal gland. As I said before, and I say it again, get you a herb pack and be some motherfucking body. What it will do is help your pineal wake the fuck up, which is the key in any of your spirituality. So your meditations will become stronger. Removing the chatter, you'll be able to go deeper. Your dreams will become deeper. Your focus will become deeper. Sexual energy will come deeper. Heart chakra work. I got specialty herb packs. It's the herb pack with extra herbs. I put a bag in it. You mix it together when you get it. There's still some people saying, what do I do with the little bag in it? You mix it. You mix it, and I show you the extra herbs. That's why you mix it, so you understand that you're getting what you paid for, a particular herb. So there's packs that help with the process of healing, help with the process of kundalini, help with the process of talking to ancestors, help with the process of talking love, lust. The list is there, all for a very good price. The herb pack, the basic herbs that are my standard, the original herb pack 2.0. I had a first one, then I had a 2.0, which is a little bit turned up, which I'm selling now. Okay. That is still the same price that I started out with, very cheap, about $25. You get a fat sack, a baggie full of this shit. You will never get a better deal. You can never complain about this motherfucking herb pack. What's in that herb pack will change your motherfucking life for $25. Shit you spend Chinese food on. Nice. There's no nicer guy than me with this shit because I can get $100 a whop for selling you half of what I sell. This I know. But I would never do that to black people because just as much as your little $25 I need to help pay the light bill, I need you to have these herbs for the experience. Right. Understand this. Many people ask me for herbs. I am not Amazon and I'm not eBay. What that means is my turnaround times are my turnaround times. I try to do best I can. Some people say, oh, that was fast. Some people, I paid you 2 days ago. Where my shit at? Because now it seems the general public is fucking with this. Before it was an exclusive for conscious people. Now it be general public motherfuckers. They be some bipolar motherfuckers. Look at one nigga's email. Panic, you have been an inspiration to my life. Panic, it's 2 weeks. Where the fuck is my herb pack, you savage son of a bitch? I gave you $30. That's right. Like, damn, nigga, I was just an inspiration in life. So I can't buy into that. I don't even answer that shit. You know what I'm saying? Right. I just give him his tracking number and say, well, why don't you walk to your fucking mailbox and get it? You know what I'm saying? You just give them the tracking number. So there's all sorts of story, but understand this. If you have a problem with time, do not buy it. You know what I'm saying? To me, I would wait a year for something that's going to fucking open my pineal, open my kundalini, help me see spirits and help me understand and come to my self-determination. I'll wait for a fucking year. And I don't even ask you to wait that long. The worst case niggas get three weeks to a month. And that's because of volume. I do a show, a lot of new people are hearing this. So I'm filling up with herbs. And then the herbs run out, I have to order fucking more. I mean, it's doing it. There's nobody trying to keep your money. I've been doing this for 6 years. You're just going to have to wait. If you're impatient, then of course, these deep conscious niggas reported to PayPal, I give them their money back. Unless I already shipped it and is in transit. I'm like, not because I'm like, if as soon as you start humanizing this for me into a business, you miss the point here. You get what I'm saying? So it's going to work very slow on you anyway. Right. Because and then they say, they'll email me. I'll wait for however long. I'm like, well, it's not gonna be that long. I'm about to mail out now, and you're gonna be in this one. I'm pretty much caught up. I have a lot of herbs, so I've been sending it out. I'm like, no, I'm waiting on herbs or waiting for this, so I got to do that, got to do this. But everybody's gonna get theirs. You know what I'm saying? Overlook something, I'll go back, see if it's shipped. I keep tracking on everything. I got tracking still from last year, where I can look it up and see where it went. So all of that to say, Like I said, you might have to offer me a little patience because it's spiritual. If I'm not feeling a certain kind of way, I'm not going to put my hands on your herbs. I need to be feeling up in the energy because this is a spiritual thing. This is a spiritual transaction. This is not some goddamn, I'm not selling goddamn, loose leaf paper and some pencils and shit on eBay. This is spiritual. I want the energy that goes in it. My son, who is pure heart, my youngest son, he's the only nigga that touches this herbs with me. Because he's the most sweetest guy. He doesn't come in with an agenda. My oldest son, the rap guy, oh no, he can fill some oil bottles, but he never touches the herbs because he's more emotional. You understand?
Right.
And his emotion goes in the thing. And since I'm the patriarch of this motherfucker, I'm gonna be emotional when the gas bill's a certain kind of way.
Right.
Or the neighbors are doing a certain kind of thing. I'm not going to go upstairs and pack herbs. I'm just not going to do it to you. I feel I owe you more. I feel I need to be in a place where let me touch this and deal with my people and give them the right amount of, because I want you to feel a spiritual experience, not feeling this and feeling my energy because somebody kept the AC on all fucking night, you know what I'm saying, in the basement and that kind of shit. So it's a lot of this that factors in. It's more than just trying to get you your little 25. And there's always the niggas that bought one herb pack. My regulars be buying fucking $100 worth of shit, $200 worth of shit, because they know the products and they know it's going to get to them. And then those are my regulars. I throw in extra shit, extra herbs, and all this kind of shit because it's on my regulars. They'll get with me. My man Kadeem, he said, "Look, my birthday's on Wednesday. What could you do for me?" I said, I'm gonna get it to you as fast as I possibly can. I'm gonna turn it up. He's sent me gifts. He's took the class. You know what I'm saying? These are people I know, and these are regulars. And he'll buy a whole heap of shit. I put extra shit. He said, "Oh, you sent me extra oil." So it's only right. Now, so most of these people are new people trying one herb pack at a time. These niggas are going off. I'm like, dog, I really can give you your money back. It's not really that serious for me. But I told you. This is a factory. Things are always going out. You just got to wait your turn. Right. So I need to stress that in the nicest way I can. But here's the real key. If this is a problem for you right now, my suggestion is do not fuck with it.
There you go.
Do not fuck with it. It ain't for you.
There you go. All right. Appreciate it. And there you heard it from Brother Panic. That's how you can get a hold of him. Get a hold of the herb packs, classes. You got his contact information, his email. You got his website, so anything that you want to stay up to par with him or what he offers, that's where you want to check him out. Brother, I appreciate it as usual, taking your time out coming on.
All right, sir. So until next time, again, that's occultlectures.com. And until next time, we'll come back with another one.
Yep.
All right, brothers.
Appreciate it. Everybody have a good night. See you next Thursday. Peace.
Peace.